right off the Broadway sub stop, Philadelphia, PA. Shot so loud you would think it was a club spot. African Americans, although we all over the web, we the hood librarians. We ship to prisons too. We reach out and deliver to those that's bitten too, but it's more than a bookstore. You want it, we got it. Mixtapes, DVDs, and culture products. Black and Nobel got our hands in a lot of projects. We welcome all to come build. The energy is positive. And remember, other teams is awake and conscious. Come through and experience this place of knowledge. They say they'll put it in a book if they want to hide it from us. But we got them books so you can buy it from us. Something to read while you on a train or riding the bus. Get your read on, food for thought, get your eat on. Black and Nobel. I buy my books at Black and Nobel. Black and Nobel. I buy my books at Black and Nobel. Black and Nobel. I buy my books at Black and Nobel. Black and Nobel. I buy my books at Black and Nobel.
Thank you. Do it in front of the camera. We can hear you.
I wish my life was in a different state. I wish I had a different body and a different face. I wish they knew me differently. They only see mistakes. I wish they see that I was trying. Life's not always great. I mean, do we always have to criticize? I know it could be worse. Some things I cannot visualize. Imagining me in the wheelchair, paralyzed, saying fuck life, I ain't even scared to die. Prepared to die, I mean it gotta be better than this. No brain control, I can't use my legs and my hips. It's painful, I can't even use my head and my wrist and look at everybody around me doing better than this. Or what if I was blind, couldn't hear a sound, didn't know the time, never saw a smile, I don't even know what fear is. I guess that's okay if the young man is fearless. See, I have never seen my appearance. Lost as hell, I don't even know my parents. I never been to Thanksgiving, never been to Christmas. If I can't enjoy the perks, then what the fuck's the point of living? You tell me good or bad and I don't even know the difference. They just keep telling me I'm different, or maybe I'm autistic. They saying that I'm bright. They start to ask me questions, keep on telling me I'm right. They telling me intelligence is just a part of life, but I'm kinda antisocial, I can't even have a wife. See, God did this out of spite. I've never even rode a bike. I'm just a young kid with cancer, asking God questions but can never get an answer. I mean, I'm strong. It's times that I can bear the weather, but it's times I can't find the strength to put my hands together. I talk about it, but it's weighing on me mentally. And I look in the mirror, I can also see it physically. As the years go by, it's bringing down my energy. Lonely outside, my only company is misery. Does anybody see my pain? But they don't understand me, they just seeing me as strange. They keep calling me an addict, they don't even know my name. So I'm crying every night trying to find out who to blame. Sometimes I think that this is just a test. So I get stressed and then I grab another cigarette. See, I wish somebody would help me. Only if somebody helped me. See, I was born this way. Would you believe that I was only born today? My mother met a man, she keeps recalling in her past life. What started as a good date turned into a bad night. What started out as dinner, dropped at the house, but he turned off the engine. What started as a kiss on the neck with his hands on the face. You know the sounds and the noises that the grown-ups make. See, I know that I'm a mistake. Young baby boy that was a product of a rape. It's a feeling that I hate, something I can never shake. I don't know why God even took the time to make a person like me. I'm just taking up space, but out of all this, can you believe I feel great? I mean, I feel like Superman. My inner voice reminds me every day, the nigga, you the man. See, I don't have none of these problems, but this is for the people that have them and can't solve them. This is for the parents that cry every night, that wake up every morning, ready for a fight, that stares at the child that lies before them and smiles at the tears and joy that they brung. I respect you, because if I had to be in your shoes, I would be confused and wouldn't know what the hell to do. But you are an example, and that visual is medicinal. You're the true meaning of love, being unconditional. So I see you all as pioneers. So tell the world in the corner it's a fight ahead. I mean, I ain't make it out the gutter, but I'm fighting for my mother, my sister, and older brother, nephew that's 5. For them I will die, just so that they can have the chance to touch skies, limits beyond reach. Tell them that I'll try, so as long as I'm alive, everything will be fine. And if you think that I lied, just look at the fact that the young man survived.
For thought, get your eat on. Black and Nobel. I buy my books at Black and Nobel.
Thank y'all for coming out tonight. The Black Nobel. This is another great night that we get a chance to see Brother Polight in action. I like tonight's topic, raise your guns. Don't raise your guns before you raise your children. Thank y'all for being patient, for waiting, and we're going to get right into the lecture. We're just going to give a couple minutes. We're still setting up, but we're getting right into it. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Peace. Good to see y'all out. Short notice event. We get the title in our head and we go forward. We want to make sure that, we get as much as information out as possible. I've been using these classes in particular as a precursor to the upcoming debate that I have going on December 9th with the brother Seti. And the topic, the subject matter is for the debate December 9th in Harlem, New York. For those of you that's aware and not aware, is what is holding us back? Is it because the white man is the devil, or is it because we have become our own worst enemy? So hopefully it could be a very educational dissertation, the composite between my brother Seti present and what I also present. He'll be taking the side of the white man is the devil, that's what's holding us back. And I'll be taking the side that we have become our own worst enemy and we have the power to bring ourselves up. We have the power to bring ourselves up. All right? So as far as I stand, because there's a lot of misconceptions about what I've been teaching, and I want to always make it clear, I'm not telling people to marry white people. I'm not telling people to love white people, embrace white people more than your people. People they have super saturated their minds so much with hatred for another race that it's almost like you can't say a new thought. If I'm not discrediting another race, people hold that synonymous as supporting another race. I'm not advocating the support of other races. I'm just merely saying that we have a responsibility that is more profound than any devilment or act of devilment perpetrated by any other race on the planet, more especially the Caucasian race. I feel as a people we are overwhelmed by circumstances that have transpired in history and still some circumstances that are transpiring today. We are overwhelmed by the white race to the extent that I feel personally a lot of our black movements are afraid of white people. I believe that they are more afraid than they are willing to admit, because every time we're trying to go forward, someone from the black conscious movement is telling you don't even bother because white people can stop you. And this is a very defeatist mentality. And I'm constantly trying to tell my brothers and sisters, how do I raise my children on this kind of doctrine that you may as well not do nothing because white people are going to stop you. So what should we do? This is my question all the time. What the heck do we do as a people if everything we do is obsolete? And if we are teaching that we are the mothers and fathers of math and science, we are teaching that we built the pyramids, we are teaching that we are the gods incarnated in earth, some of us dare say that we are God, okay? We are teaching all these different things and saying how special we are, and the melanin makes us more superior than everyone else, then why should I accept the fact that we can't come up as a people because of a white race? It doesn't make sense. We've been taught that God created the devil. We've been taught that the white man has been created at the end result of another man's experiment. So we are being told that the white man is a product of a man's experiment, while the devil is a creation of God. So when we call the white man the devil, we giving him a promotion. He's still just a man. When we call him a devil, we are psyching ourselves out to be afraid. Because now here it is, we're just mere mortals. And we done made him a devil. So he actually had the right to be cast out of heaven if we were born on earth. We have reduced ourselves. We still gave him a promotion, whether it's the devil or not. You know, these angels were still working for God one way or the other. So here it is, we've turned a man into an angel of God, a fallen angel of God. And we wonder why we can't go forward as a people. We spooked ourselves out about white people. And I'm tired of it because I see we're not going nowhere with this doctrine. We can keep saying kill this cracker, get ready for war. It's not happening no time soon. So we should come up with a doctrine that is more pragmatic, something that is more effective. Now, I'm not saying that we won't have to fight at some point or the other. I'm saying we're not being realistic by calling another race names and not producing no work. So it's as if I don't come into the hate group and say, yeah, they're dogs, or yeah, they came from the mountains. If I don't feel like talking about that no more, because I actually want to produce results, it's being said that I love white people and I'm against black people. Yet, these same people against me, I don't see them with black people. I don't see the men against me with even a black woman. I have 4 wives. I don't even see them with 1 black woman. And every time I hear them talk about black women, they are discontent with black women. They're to the point of almost sounding homosexual. They have nothing but negative things to say about their own female counterpart of their race. So it's hard in the day and time when you come in and you have the balls or the go to say, you know what, I'm going to speak up, even if there's a whole army of people that say it's this way, and to come out, not because I want to be special or different, but to say, listen, enough is enough, because I don't want to be the next generation that has to explain to my children why they don't have nothing, and coin it, the white man is the reason. I don't want to do that for another generation. Every generation that's being passed down. We passing the buck every generation for why we can't come up. And there are successful black people, but it's not part of our black conscious curriculum to show you that. That's the problem. There are successful billionaires. Successful billionaires. Some of the richest people in the world are black. And we don't know their names. I'm going to be presenting this information when I get to that dissertation. Because you know what we saturate our mind with? The rapings, the lynchings, the castrations. All we see is us being tortured. The only thing we want to learn is when something was stolen from us. The only thing we want to learn is when something was taken from us. This is the thing that we've been saturating our minds with all the time, for too long. Every time it comes time for education in our black conscious community, we are finding out how we've been beat. We are not finding out how to fight back. We're talking about one day we're going to fight back, but we spend a lot of intricate detail on how exactly we as a people are messed up in the head. Somebody will break down the psychology of why we messed up in a heartbeat before they give us a solution. We need more solutions. I'm in my 20s, so it hurts being in my 20s and saying, hey, I learned about freedom fighters, but where they at today? The freedom fighters today on Facebook and YouTube. That's as far as they go. They don't go past Facebook and YouTube. That's our freedom fighters today. Other freedom fighters, they put in work. They was on the battlefield. They might have had to throw physical blows, but that doesn't mean every war, the prerequisite to engage war is physical blows. In fact, every war that's ever transpired, the physical blows was the last part of the war. It was not the first part of the war. So when we're talking about we need to be militant, people are telling me I'm making a mockery out of the black conscious movement because we have militant people. And I said, show me one militant group in the black conscious community. Because in order to have a military, you have to have a nation. You have to actually have a community. You actually have to have some land. You have to have some reason to be fighting in the first place. So I said, show me the militant people. What, they just fight for all black people? I have to wake people up. Not all black people are going to fight for you or with you. And some of these Negroes are going to work against you when you're trying to free them. So you can't possibly be saying that you the military for all black people. That's not going to work. The white man is not the military for all white people. In case people haven't noticed, white people are in constant conflict with each other. If they were supporting each other, we would be obsolete right now. We are the biggest consumers. And if you mistake one white person for another white person, just like you mistake one Oriental for another Oriental, they will be pissed off. You try calling a Korean Chinese by accident, see how he responds. Try calling a Jew a Caucasian and see how he responds. These people are in conflict with each other, but their stuff is straight. They are in conflict with each other. Everybody is relying on for us. We're the biggest consumers. If we ever were to produce and create a market of our own and rely on each other, the world will go to hell. And we'll be back on point overnight. Which is why economics is so important. It is their drive. It is the very thing that is causing us to lapse as a community as far as our progression is concerned. It's the very thing that is throwing us off today. Our inability to execute politically, is what's slowing us down today. And it is hell trying to get this into people's minds. It is hell when they have old doctrines in their head and they don't realize it's time to make this metamorphosis. It's time to grow. It's time to change. We can't keep feeding off of the old doctrine. That is the lazy mentality. Hey, why create a new doctrine or make any modifications when I could just leech off the old doctrine? But guess what? That old doctrine was tailor-made and designed for that day and time in which it was erected. We live in a day and time where the freedom fighters then didn't even have credit scores or credit reports. That was not even conceivable. The credit card problems, the mortgage crisis, none of that was even conceivable 30, 40 years ago. We live in a day and time where the fight is very different. And as always, there's always going to be a few intelligent people to really get it. There's always going to be a chosen few that really get it. Because the rest of the masses are nuts. They've lost their mind and they're complacent with not having enough. And those of us that want to reach for the stars, we're told that we're out our mind. Oh, we want to confide in the white man's system. One minute we say he got his system from us. The next minute when you start doing your thing in the system, you trying to confide in the white man's system. I have people saying, kill the white man. So I said, all right, cool. We gonna kill this white man at an indefinite time. Fine. But guess what? Now I do some paperwork. These same people that say kill the white man say, hey, you might get locked up for that paperwork. So I say, hold on. Kill the white man is a homicide. That's against the law. I'm over here doing paperwork. You don't even check to see what we're doing. All you know is what white people told you. So when we say the word sovereignty, our only reference point is white people. And white people that get locked up for it. Because white people are very fanatical, crazy people about what they do. Don't associate us with what white people do. No one in New Covenant has been locked up. You know why? Because we're not doing what those people do. They're doing what they're doing and they're using the term sovereignty. That has nothing to do with what we're doing. We're doing what we're doing and we're using the real estate and the tax benefits. Why? Because 1/3 of America's revenue that is generated comes from real estate. So we believe this government is using the revenue that they're generating to solicit sales of guns illegally in our community and put drugs in our community. And we believe this is the case. We should find out what do they make most of their revenue from. And when we go into their gross domestic product, we'll find that 1/3 of all the money they make every 3 months comes from real estate. What part of real estate? Failed mortgages. So we really believe the government is funding, because we understand that the government has to borrow money as well to execute any type of war. I don't know where these black conscious so-called military people get information from. Nobody goes to war without funding. And the military doesn't go around getting donations either. The military is made up of people that are comprised of that particular community with the promise that they get something in exchange. Whether it's their sovereignty, a school education, certain civil liberties that they've been denied of, you have to be part of a community and be willing to fight for that specific group, for a specific purpose. So look at our military, the so-called military people in our community. What do they get after the fight, if they fight? So-called freedom and liberation for black people, right? No, it's not. It's very vague. It's very vague. And that's why nobody's really fighting. Because all people can think about, hey, I might wind up in prison. I know the so-called militant people in the black conscious community are not even going to give me commissary, and they're not going to take care of my child when I'm in prison. So all that kill the white man talk, we can throw it out the window until we seriously put a serious plan on the trestle board. When we put a serious plan on the trestle board, then we can say, you know what? Maybe people will start fighting. So people are always saying, man, you need to have a military first. And I said, I don't know no nation that has been built with a military first. I don't know what group of people just come out the womb of their mothers and say, hey, we need a military. For what? What do you have in the first place that's yours that you have to defend? Military first. What about family? Don't you got to have a family first? Family first. You need family first. If you don't have family, it ain't worth it. Everybody that has any hands in the world is a ruling family. Stop calling them banks, stop calling them Illuminati. They are families. Who rules the world are families. Families rule the world. So if you want to stop our people from ruling the world, you make sure you destroy our family. That is the science. Family first, not military first. Family first. You're not going to win a war if the people in the war are not even fighting for their family. A bunch of single men on the battlefield versus a bunch of men who have wives. The men with the wives and the men with the children are going to fight longer and harder than the men who are on the battlefield, single bachelors. All the enemy have to do is throw them some ass, and they'll be shut down overnight. It's happened. Single men on the battlefield, something to fight for, people willing to fight. If you have nothing to fight for, you'll be talking about fighting for years like we're doing right now. We need to feel like we have something to fight for. Just the thought of someone infringing on your family's right to live or succeed is enough to warrant the behavior of a fight. That's a reality every day of the week. Nothing's going to change that. So I'm trying to stress the brothers and sisters, whether you're monogamous or you're polygamous, you have to deal with family first. We need to organize effectively as families. And not just regular families, successful families. And then successful families have to marry into other successful families. That's how it works. Because if you see someone coming to your household who has no talent, no skill, no trades, but they want to marry your daughter, you're supposed to shut it down. So it makes sense to some of us. You're supposed to shut it down. Oh, you in love with brothers who have dark lips because they smoke weed. We can't do that. Not no more. We have to come up with something better than that. Your dark lip babies are stupid. We can't create that no more. She got a big butt. That's wifey. Now you got dark lip, big butt babies that don't know nothing. We can't do nothing in the world with that kind of mentality. We need skills. We need trades. We need successful families to marry other successful families. That's how the pros do it. And they took that right out of our book. We're always talking about what the ancestors did. The ancestors never married with unsuccessful, successful families. You were cut off if you made a decision like that. Because family is ran like a government. Family is government. Love is law and family is business. There's rules and there's protocol to how we organize as a people if we want to perfect and perpetuate our legacy. Family is very serious. Somewhere along the line, we no longer take it serious, and that's where the issue is coming in. No one is making a concerted effort to say, hey, listen, family is very serious. You know how successful you can become overnight? How successful you can become overnight if you have just the man, the woman, and child working with each other in harmony? You know how much more success you can have than doing it as an individual? Or so-called independent brother or so-called independent woman, if you just have someone by your side working with you, you can go that much more further. That should be everyone's focus. Let me just get my number one teammate. Because your friends, they come and go. And all of us had friends from young where we always believed that they was going to be with us till old age. And none of them with us now. But your significant other, y'all go through hell, but y'all stay and y'all keep fighting through it. Your significant other. But friends come and go. So the best one to do business with, the family's business, and we talk about a lifetime business, so especially when you start producing children. That's a responsibility for a lifetime. I don't care if I'm 80 years old. It's a responsibility. Hopefully my child can take care of me. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's a lifetime responsibility. You brought them into this world. We have to have this mentality again. We become a reptilian by nature, not even caring. So when I say, hey, we've been given too much credence to the white community, I mean it. Way too much credibility is given to them. They seem to be the boogeyman. Everywhere we go, they can stop us and shut us down. And it's not true. It's just the type of information that we get is what's shutting us down. And I ask you a question. What is, if you had to pick an opposite, what would be the opposite of blue? Someone tell me. If you had to think of a color, what would be the opposite of blue? Someone in here, I heard you. What else? Someone tell me. If you had to pick the opposite of a color, blue, what would be the opposite of blue? What else you say? Anybody else? Yellow. Okay. That's new. I never heard yellow. What would be the opposite of red? Okay. And I know why they're opposites of red. All right. What would be the opposite of a cat? Huh? You saying red? I got you. Brother said red. What would be the opposite of a cat? Go ahead. We know what you want to say. Say it. Say it loud. All right. You know, it's not a trick. We just trying to show you something. Now, the reason why most people will say red, just do a poll. Go around and say, what's the opposite of blue? Especially in gang-infested communities. And they will tell you, opposite of blue is red in a heartbeat. Go around, ask the person what's the opposite of a cat. They'll tell you dog, because they see them in natural opposition. Then you say, what's the opposite of a giraffe? Or neon orange? And then it becomes funny, like, what kind of crazy question is that? The opposite of neon orange? Or the opposite of a giraffe or an elephant? Or the opposite of a snake or orangutan? Or the opposite of a gazelle? It wouldn't make that much more sense. But we get these ideas of opposition with our environment as the parameter. You step out the environment, now you have new information, and now you have to start making modifications in the way you see the world and perceive things. So a lot of what we believe as far as our approach towards liberation is based on us being secluded or confined to the box that we call the hood or the ghetto. But if you travel around the world enough, you start seeing, dang, everybody of each race is in opposition to each other. You have more than one enemy. Sorry to let you know, white people are not your only enemy. And not all white people are going to be an enemy. You just got to tell the truth. Some white people want to adopt you because they feel sorry for you. Because they feel like black people aren't enough for black people. Believe it or not. Some people are so damn guilty from their ancestors, they actually want to do right by you. Believe it or not. You can convince yourself that secretly under Tony's Pizza, they're in the basement working on plans to destroy the whole black community while they take the funds for the pizza and the Sicilians to destroy your lives. It's not true. Tony is not in the lab under the pizza shop working on destroying you and your lives or your wives' children. It's not true. All white people are just absolutely not working against you. In fact, some white people don't even want to deal with the chaos that has become us because they living good lives. They're living good lives. If you even ask for the time, they might give you $10 just to get the hell away from you. They don't want no problems. They don't want to be part of the racial war. They living good. They don't want to be part of a racial war. They wish the racism would stop because they making money. They done. They don't want none of that to infiltrate and infest their community and destroy their happiness. It's true. So to believe that every white person on planet Earth is working against black people is just a ridiculous ideology, and it's part of the reason why we can't go forward as a community. And it's oftentimes misinterpreted, love white people. And that's not what I'm saying. It's your choice, but it's not what I'm saying. I'm saying we have to grow up. Because all I have to do without any proof is tell you white people come from the caves, white people come from outer space. I can tell you white people's DNA, 99% rat. I can tell you anything that sounds bad about white people, and we're going to accept it. That's how we've been designed. And if any one person says anything that sounds remotely close to positive about another race other than us, we're going to shut that brother down. And that's too ethnocentric for us to evolve as a people. Now, I'm not saying we have to spend time to study white culture and Chinese culture. I'm saying you should if you want to get out of your situation, because you got to see what the hell are people doing to come out. Because there's a group of people from August 9th that have been bombed in a way that no other race has been bombed, ever. The bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, those were bombs that are uncanny to any type of explosion that's taken place or affected a group of people ever, on an anatomical level and atomical level. But somehow they still are world power today. But we so ethnocentric, we're not even going to study what it is that they have in place that makes them strong so they can persevere. No. We're going to say everything they got is from black people and we're proud. And that's all we want to do. We want to just gloat about everything we have and who we are, but we don't want to study What makes everyone else so much more successful? The only way you're going to find that out is if you start being as nosy as they are when it comes to us. We come up with some music, they get nosy until to the point they can learn how to infiltrate our music culture, if not even modify it so they can adjust to it better so they can become performers as well. Every race has learned how to be nosy enough to keep themselves alive. All we want to do is study our history. You got to study everybody. You got to study the Jews. Study their Holocaust. I know you say the word Holocaust. You'll say, what about the black Holocaust? We got to get out of that and start studying what other people did to come out of their situation. The Jews were massively killed. It's actually a fact. How the hell did they come up? Someone was annihilating these people by the masses. And now they're a small percentage of the world and have so much control. That doesn't spark our interest at all. We think we're going to make it through this thing just through the ancient Egyptian studies alone. And it's not practical to think like that. Ancient Egypt isn't enough to get us out of this situation. And when all else fails, study who is on top. And maybe you might find some corridors to consciousness, some explanation for how they managed to persevere. Studying black culture, and it's on its decline. It's not exactly going to help us get back up. So as you keep studying us, we are on a gradual decline. That's not going to keep us up. You have to find out who in society up until this point is on the rise and what enables them to be on the rise. So we can find the contrast. Not everything about us is bad. It's just something ain't going right. And we can believe if someone's working against us, but the best thing that every race has working for them that's working against us is our own ignorance. It's the number one thing. No one is really here making me pick up a gun and shoot my brother. Nobody's doing that. Nobody's over here making me kill my other brother. And you can say white people create the scenario, the circumstance. I say, cool, you're right. But we still doing it. There's no way around it. You're not going to tell me otherwise. If you hold your child accountable for what they do wrong, since when do we stop holding adults accountable? Because the children, he's not out on the streets gangbanging, though people are forcing guns in his hand. He's not out there gangbanging. So everything he do wrong, we hold him accountable. At 10 years old, we hold him accountable. This young baby right here, whatever this young baby do, we're going to hold that baby accountable if he do something wrong. Right, my brother? If that young child do something wrong, are you going to say, let's give him the pass. He stole from his mother's wallet. The white man created that scenario. We're not going to do that for no child. We're going to shut him down. What the hell are you doing stealing from your mother's wallet? We don't give the children pass. My daughter hits my daughter over here the wrong way, or even at all. I can't tell my wife, yo, give her the pass. You know, the white man created the conflict within us to smack the hell out of a 6-year-old. That's not going to happen. We're going to have to shut her down because she has to be held accountable for her actions. So now when she's 21, all of a sudden she gets the pass. Now she's 21, we can blame white people for everything she do wrong. But when she's 15 or 14 years old, we're going to hold her accountable for her own actions. Age 21, oh, everything from 21 extended is all white people. That's a very ridiculous notion. And that's a question that I've been presenting to my brothers and sisters for the longest, and I still haven't got an answer. What is the right age to blame white people for your inequity? Because we know we don't do it for the children. So at what age? Is it 15? Is it 16? What is the age where we no longer held accountable for what's going wrong? Because the gang members are only killing each other because of white people. So what was the age where we can actually say that? So if a young child kills another young child, we say something wrong with that child. So what is the age? Oh, the brothers are only stealing from each other because what the white man did. Okay, so what is the age where we can steal and blame the white man? And what is the age where we steal and we get held accountable? Because I thought you're supposed to be held more accountable the older you get. Not the younger you get. That's ass backwards. That's reverse. If we ever blame white people for anything, blame them for the childhood. Don't blame them when we become adults. That's ridiculous because now we have the ability to discern. We have willpower. We can tell right from wrong. Our edification should have brought us to a point where we're more evolved in consciousness and more conscious of our decisions. At this point, we don't have a coping mechanism. This is the issue that we are struggling with today and why we cannot go forward. The answers to our problems is clear as day. Clear. We can shut this whole thing down without fighting. All you have to do is find out what is your devil today. That's what it is. What is the real devil? What is black people's devil? Today, black people's devil is not society. 30 years ago, it was more society. Social conditions was our devil. Today's devil is finance. That's black people's devil today. We're very ignorant of it. And politics. Those are our devils. It's in conflict with our ability to progress. That's how we have to define spirituality. We have to use what is slowing us down as a barometer to distinguish what is in conflict with our spirituality. And we're going to go into the religious definition of spirituality. It ain't my definition, so anyone can look it up when we go into it. And you're going to say, wow, that's deep. So the religious institutions are teaching us one thing about spirituality, and then we look up the definition, and it's a totally another thing. So it's very interesting. So we're going to go on. So today is we can't raise a gun before we raise our children. By the suit, I'm going to raise Senator Tumblr. Can some of the lights get cut a little? I'm there. All right. It's clear? All right. So, of course, I was talking about the event for December 9th. Again, the debate. The main premise is why can't we call it? It's not if the white man's the devil or not. That is not the question. People keep hanging on that point. The question is, what is stopping our people from coming up? Is it because the white man is the devil? Or have we become our own worst enemy? Like I said, I'm taking the stance that we have become our own worst enemy, and I hope my brother does a good job showing us where the other races are opposition, because we need that educational benefit as well, because people need to know there are people out here working against us, and somebody might not be too familiarized with other races being in conflict with us. But I've heard that story all too often, so I refuse to take that side. I'm taking the other side, because that's the side of the story that can free us, that we don't like talking about. Because every time we're not taking care of our children, it's someone else's fault. Every time we don't pay our bills, it's someone else's fault. Every time we kill somebody, it's someone else's fault. Somebody gets shot by white and black cops. All we do is talk about the white cops that shot him. I'm like, yo, hold on. There was a Spanish brother and a black man that was part of the shooting. We don't know what we're talking about right now. But we went straight for the white man. I said, come on, man. There was a brother participating in that. You a sellout, Polight. He's the sellout. I shoot the brother. What do we do to the brothers that shooting the brothers? They get the pass. We just watching out for white folk. Who's really killing who more? Again, I got real good questions. Who's killing who more? Are white people killing black people more? I'm not talking technical. I'm talking shoot 'em, bang, bang, dead. That's what I'm talking. I'm not talking heart waves and all this other stuff. Don't take me there. I'm not talking about heart waves and fluoride in your water and everything. I'm not talking that. Don't be slick. I'm talking bang, shoot you in your face. I'm talking abortion clinic. The decision to kill your child. Your decision. I'm talking the decision to raise a gun and shoot another person. Who is killing black people more? Are black people killing black people more, or are white people killing black people more? That is the question. That is the question. And we don't want to admit it. But you will see the statistics on December 9th, where you will see that in Chicago, we have more brothers dying from black-on-black crime than brothers dying in Iraq. In Iraq, from the war. In Palestine, Afghanistan, and Iraq. You can add the three of them together in any 3 years you want. That soldiers been dying. And more dying on the streets of Chicago alone. Second in line is Detroit. And it's interesting, because my biggest slanderers come from Chicago and Detroit. Talking about their military. But there's a war against black people, amongst black people, a fratricidal war against people of their own kind. More people are dying. More black people are dying from black people killing each other in Chicago than any black people in any 3 wars waged overseas in the name of the white man's war. So this means you have a better chance living and surviving under the war that the white man put you in than you have living amongst your own people. Think about it. White people killing black people. White people can bring you into their war and take you to Iraq, home, I'll kill myself because I'm going to get 72 virgins. And if you tell a nigga he going to get 72 virgins and you can convince him if he dies, Allah's going to give him 72 virgins, that's a lot of people blowing themselves up. And still, we can't outdo the amount of homicides. For that kind of crazy scenario, more black people have a better chance surviving in the white man's war than they do surviving in their own community, and that's a damn shame. Now, you can't blame white people, because white people trying to take you into their wars. And you know what black people are starting to get hip to? Our brothers and our sisters in the community saying, you know what, I'm going to die anyway, at least I can get a free education. I'm going to white man war. More people surviving in the white man war than they surviving in the hood. So all our brothers and sisters are saying, hey, I'm going to die anyway. I just take the lower probability of dying, being amongst suicide bombers, than living in my own community. So who are we supposed to talk to? The white man that's creating better opportunities for black people to die? Or black people using the opportunity to kill black people with no benefit? We didn't even talk about the drug dealing. We didn't even discuss the drug dealing. We talking about shoot you because I'm mad at you. That's what we talking about. We have to address each other. But what is wrong? First of all, over 80% of the prisons, we will show these statistics December 9th. Over 80% of the prisons is filled with black men with no woman. Black men who couldn't keep a 1 to 3 year relationship with a woman. You're not going to tell me that that's a coincidence. Yeah, I know the system is set up for black people to be incarcerated. I understand all that. But what's also interesting is that brothers that can't keep a 1 to 3 year relationship with a black woman, whether it's their fault or the woman's fault, we're not going into that. We're not in their business. All we know statistically, 80%, over 80% of the people that are in prison right now could not maintain a 1 to 3 year relationship with the significant other, as far as black men are concerned. These are things we have to start tallying up and considering. The relationship thing has something to do with this. Chemistry must be unbalanced. Remember Mike Tyson said he abstained from having sex. This guy was the heavyweight champion in the world at 19 years old. That means he was backed up. If brothers are not in sexual relationships, in healthy sexual relationships with someone, chances are they're going to commit crime. I don't care what nobody say. Statistics show and prove if you're not in a consistent relationship with another woman for 1 to 3 years, the likeliness of you being in prison puts you in that 80% echelon. That means the only brothers really loose out here right now are either homosexual or married. What world are we going to live in? Because the homosexuals got the marrieds by a long shot. And it'd be even more crazier if we even do the dynamic of this, so we don't see what's going on. Who has the highest rate of adoptions? Who is the race or the group of people that are more likely to adopt children? Homosexuals. Homosexuals are the most likely to adopt children. Out of every group of people on planet Earth, they have the highest adoption rate. Who are the most likely to give up their children? Black people. So what does the world look like 10 years later? We're living in 10 years later right now. And we're wondering, where do all these black homosexuals come from? They're being raised by homosexuals because the heterosexuals gave them up. I got statistics that make so much sense. You start looking at the world like, shit, is this or something? Oh, you just think black people just all of a sudden just trying to get down with the style and be gay? It don't work like that. Their parents are not raising them. We gave them up because we couldn't afford them. We couldn't afford our children. I'm not bashing homosexuals. And people would say, oh, see, he's pushing homosexuality. No, I don't have to disrespect people because of their sexual preference or because of their skin complexion to make myself feel better. I have a lot more self-respect, integrity, and more security than that. If I don't come out and blast and disrespect other people because of something that makes them different from me, I'm a crossover nigga. I got children I gotta raise. I can't teach them that they can be ignorant on certain circumstances. I can't do it no more. It's wild being in a community that calls themselves conscious and you can't convey sensible, messages to them. So then they'll say, yo, you see, he's down with homosexuality. So I said it before. I don't got no right to disrespect somebody because of their sexual preference. It don't do nothing for me. Don't feed my children. Don't make me no stronger. It don't give me an extra wife. So what I need to be involved with that kind of hatred for? That hatred, soon you get consumed by it, and then you be the one perpetrating the same acts on some kind of frequency. You hate white people so much, you become a hater yourself. Now you ridiculous just as much as the ridiculous people that's perpetrating acts of racism against you. I don't want to be consumed with hate. You can't use hate and not be consumed by it at the same time. I can accept you as an opposition without me becoming you. I don't have to become a hater because you hate me. You hate me, so I'm going to hate you. No, you can hate me. Knock yourself out. I'm going to continue doing something productive that actually promotes change in my life. You call me a name, so I call you a name, it does nothing for me but bring me down and make me degenerate. Now I'm hostile. Now I'm angry. Now I'm upset. Now I'm hot. Now I'm sweaty. Now I'm going to get a short circuit because heat rises. So you get too upset, the heat rises, your brain, 52 ounces, resting on water, you start pulling from the waters in your brain from the anger and dehydrating, now you have a short circuit. Then you do something that doesn't make sense. You take a glass, you break it, be upset, and then you have to sweep it up and throw it in the garbage. It's all confusion. You throw your phone, break it, not only do you have to pay a bill, but now you got to pay for the phone again. It's all confusion. So it's time to grow up. We spending too much time name calling, spending too much time disrespecting other people, and it's not even producing no results for the community. So I'm saying take the time out, pay attention to those statistics, look up these statistics, because you'll see there's a lot of evidence that can confirm where we can go and what we can do as a people. Just statistics alone. Statistics make you think. Like, damn, 1 to 3 year relationships. That's all. 80% of the prisons filled with people who can't keep a 1 to 3 year relationship with the opposite sex. That's interesting. Now we know there's a system in place that does exploit us. True. But it still don't deny the fact that that statistic, 1 to 3. 1 to 3 years, most of the people in prison, 80% of the people in prison have not been in a consistent relationship for 1 to 3 years with the opposite sex. And you wonder why everyone's duking each other in the butt in prison? They never even had a positive experience with the opposite sex. You got 80% of the prison filled with men who don't have a positive thing to say in light of having experience with the opposite sex. What is supposed to happen? And then they come out into the world to endorse the homosexual agenda. Prison's homosexual camp. I'm not saying everyone that goes in becomes homosexual. I'm just saying it's becoming a homosexual camp because it's filled with people that have a problem with the opposite sex. It's filled with people who have some kind of dysfunction when it comes to engaging in the opposite sex, a relationship. So there's things to make you think. The people who are adopting people more than any other people in the world, homosexual. The people giving up their children more than any other people in the world, black people. The combination, 10 years later, black people would be the most homosexual. Common sense. Took me a while. I've been on this for a long time trying to find out how did this happen overnight. It just seemed like one day everybody that's black is walking around, and before people were hiding it. Now it's just natural. And it's everywhere. It's on 106 in Park. It's on everything. You see everything. And it's accepted. Lil Wayne kissing somebody else again on lips. He's still accepted. I'm like, when did this happen? When did we accept this? This is weird. But hey, you know, and the thugs that so-called against homosexuality still kill everyone else but the homosexual. I'm not saying kill homosexuals. I just found it weird that they talk so angry about it. Like my Jamaican brothers, the tight pants and everything, shots is, and I'm like, yo, hold on. Y'all talk, y'all against this. But y'all look like you down. It'd be weird. I'm like, I don't know what happened all these years. When I was in school, people would not even say these things. I feel like I'm 60 years old. Now they come out in public. And if a brother, I know the last time I went to the club, I seen women, I tried to dance with this woman, she shut me down. I'm not even gonna lie. I said, you know what, it's all good. I tried to dance with this woman, she looked back at me, she shut me down. I said, all right, cool. I went to the next sister. She shut me down. So I said, I ain't never seen. Cause I wait till the real good song come on, where they don't even give a hell who behind them. You know, when the real good song come on, you can just jump behind them and do your thing. So I'm like, son, it ain't right. It ain't me. I stop. I watch this shit. The rest of the night, I'm not getting shut down 4 times. This ain't gonna be good for ego. I'm watching this whole situation play out. And yo, these women start dancing with each other. She said, I got shut down by a woman who wanted to dance with the other woman. She mad at me for going at the woman. I'm like, yo, it didn't say lesbian club on this shit. Like, how you gonna get mad at a brother for dancing or trying to dance with another female? And she looking at me, she turned her fit cap backwards. I said, oh shit, she's serious. It's about to go down. I said, the world has changed. That was the last time I went to the club. I said, I'm in the land of Nod. New York, Philly, Sodom and Gomorrah. Something ain't right. And it just happened. But I'm like, where are the parents in all of this? And that is the miscellaneous factor. The parenting. The men shooting each other are emotional men raised by women, no man around. I'm telling you, you can't say nothing to these brothers about to get upset. They think they're gangster when they do that. They're not gangster, they miss their father. That's why they shoot each other. They miss their father. They're overly emotional, and they're being raised by a woman who has to be a mother and a father at the same time. And now, that woman who practiced being mother and father, when she gets into a relationship, she's a father in the middle of a relationship where she has a man. Now the man want to fight her because the energy feel masculine. I'm not saying he's right to hit her. I'm just saying the energy, the principle behind the energy seems so masculine. Because she had to learn how to become more masculine so she can raise her child on her own. So now there's a social dynamic where she can't even relate to having a husband. She might even still act single while she's with a man because she had to do this so long by herself. There's a lot of chaos taking place in the community. We have to address it so we can change it, so we can give understanding to each other as a people. So we go to the next one. We go to the next one. What are you looking for? So some of the data today comes from the following books and DVDs, Killer with Paperwork, part 1, part 2, and then of course the tome, the book, the publication. We'll go to the next one. All right, and today's subject matter is called We Can't Raise a Gun Before We Raise Our Children. New Covenant presents the social and economic means to the preservation of our race. Family before military. Family, the offspring of culture. Family is business. You say that, people think you're talking about pimping. Not the case. You got to have successful families. Yet again, if somebody come in with no talent, no trade, no success, and they say, I want to marry your son or I want to marry your daughter, you are supposed to do everything in your power to shut it down. Shut it down as soon as possible. Because statistically speaking, we know we go nowhere with that kind of concept. Statistically speaking, we go nowhere. We've seen it. Right now, our race is at a point where we can't afford to make decisions like that no more. See, China, they will kill you or kill your baby if you have more than 2. You know why? Because statistically speaking, they know what direction they're going to be headed in. If they pretend like they don't understand what's going on. You say, that's immoral. But they're also paying attention to something else. And guess what? Other races, if they find out, it's not so much, hey, you're trying to go with a nigga. It's so much the fact there's no power behind that family name. It's like, no, we're not doing that. We come from a long line of successful people and successful families, and we're trying to strengthen our seed. And most people, believe it or not, are pointing at people from our community. I've seen it on 2 occasions in my life, both as a young man, around 10, and another one as around 15 years old. Where I've seen a Jew in New York, the projects and the Jewish community are so weird because it's so close to each other. But it's a whole different world. You come from a world where you see Hebrew letters, their own school buses, their own hospitals, their own clothing stores, and you step across the street and automatic projects. And the Negroes refuse to give anyone hell on the other side of the street. They only give hell to the people in their community. They wouldn't dare step foot in the Jewish side late in the night. And these brothers, of course, are way bigger than Jews, because I've never seen a decent Jew in my life. Apparently no one has. You know what I'm saying? They just don't come out easily. No matter what you do. You can feed them protein, you can make them do 100 push-ups a night, you can put them on a machine but they have no choice but to do non-stop push-ups, 1,000 a day. It's not going to happen. They do not give up. Those is like the weakest race I've ever seen physically. They are not in no sports. They don't even play golf. They're not strong enough for it. So, the brothers don't go over there, though they know they could strong arm them. You know why? Because those people are acting like a proud race. You can't beat a proud race because they're organized. You can't beat a proud race. It don't matter. And they're producing nothing but scrawny people, and no one's bothering them. Because their political power speaks louder than any muscle or testosterone that anyone else has. So I always found it interesting living in the P's and looking on the other side of the street like, how come we don't go over there? Oh, it's not over there for us. They sell food over there. They sell produce over there. They sell clothes over there. There's nothing over there for us though. And you walk over there, you feel uncomfortable because everybody says something. You're not from this community. People start lifting up their windows, heads start sticking out. What the hell is this nigga doing over here? If you so much as drive your car through that neighborhood, you look suspect. No one drives tinted windows. Your windows ain't have to be tinted. All you gotta do is be a nigga on the other side of the window. And they think that shit tinted. They like, yo, there must be a black person here. It is horrible. It is horrible. So, what I've learned when I watch these communities, some of the most interesting things is how there's something in us to victimize our own. And political power resonates more than physical strength. Political power resonates more than political strength. Political power resonates more than physical strength. It's deep. I've been watching this, and I'm like, wow, it's something that black people have realized. It's the criminals amongst our community know this. They don't say it, and they may not be able to articulate it, but they know there's something about political strength that far surpasses physical strength or brawn. And that observation stuck with me because I've heard, and like I told you, 2 different occasions, one around 10, one around 15, where I once was in a Jewish community, and my friends and I was acting up, nigga this, nigga that, bitch, you crazy. You know, my homegirls call each other bitch. We walking around, having a good time, walking through the Jewish community to get to our projects. And some child was acting up, and the Jewish man said, you see, you wanna turn out like that? You want somebody to call you that? Because, you know, we calling the sisters bitches, the sisters calling themselves bitches. We having a good time. We talking, nigga this, bitch that. And the Jew man told this child, there was something going on with him, the child was crying, he said, you see, stop. You want to turn out like that? So I said, man, this is some weird shit for someone to point at me and say, do we want to turn out like that? And it happened not to me once, but twice. On another occasion, there's a man and woman fighting on the street. Jews again. Walk and shake their head and told their daughter, listen, you see what we've been trying to protect you from? In the middle of the fight, that's what I caught. I'm like, yo, hold on, did anybody hear this? The Jew just asked his daughter if this is what she wants in her life. Or you see what I've been trying to protect you from. Both of those things stuck with me for quite some time. And it hurt. But I didn't have the consciousness to really put it together, but it stuck with me since 10 years old and 15 years old. How much people from other races are pointing at our race as a prime exemplification of what not to be. I'm like, this is crazy. When you are the race that is the subject matter or the template for what not to do and how not to do it, if you have any racial pride or integrity, you will want to see that change. Not even as an individual, but as a group of people, since I belong to this group. I have a sense of belonging. And I'm saying, I'm tired of that because I know, honestly, I can point at us and say, we have become a template for how not to do things, how not to deal with oppression, because other races have dealt with oppression. We ain't never had a bomb drop on us like Nagasaki. I don't care what nobody say. They came up, not because the world caters to everyone but black people. It feel like that sometimes in some circumstances really warrant that kind of thinking, but reality is this. Those group of people have to want their freedom that much. Ain't nothing denying that. You have to have a group of people that really want their freedom and very serious about it. You can't just give it all up to the fact that there's racism that exists. You have to say, a group of people have to really want their freedom, seriously. And they'll come up with all the components that they need to be free. So today we ask, we say we can't raise a gun before we raise our children. We talk about fighting and killing somebody, we have to stop and say to ourselves, we can't raise a gun before we raise our children. Just not going to work. So we should get out this crazy mind. I'm not saying stop training. I'm not saying stop doing push-ups. You know, start buying guns at least. That'd be a good start. Because these military people don't even have guns. And they talking about kill the white man. They can't even afford to put some money together to kill the white man. That's the ridiculous part about the movement. It's not serious. But I'm saying we can't raise a gun before we raise our children. We just can't do that. We have to raise our children and give them a sense of racial pride, political cognition, and the ability to execute financially. I've been around people that work in banks that tell me there's children coming in there making deposits in all sorts of types of accounts. All other races in the black community, with the exception of the black people that occupy the community most. And anybody that's a banker can tell you. Anybody that's ever worked in the bank, like my wife, can tell you. Black people are in there not doing the do. And ain't no one stopping them from getting it done. They just don't know. And some wouldn't even care to know. I've had flyers and try to give them out for classes. My children used to get discouraged because they try to be slick. They try to go for all the people with afros. I said, don't disappoint yourself. They see an afro, they're like, I'm going to give this. And the disgusting look that people give you for trying to give them a flyer. Hey, you don't want to make no money? I got money already. You couldn't possibly have money talking like that. I got money already. I mean, you probably hermaphrodite. You didn't sound like a female. Get somebody's flyer. I know all that already. Oh, the best one. What's the best one we get when we give out flyers? They get it in their hand and say, so what's this about? Like, read it, nigga. Like, it's in, what do you mean what it's about? The date and the time and the place is on there. The title is there. There's pictures. At least look at the pictures. What do you mean, what's this about? Instead, like, we owe you an explanation. You see me with damn 1,000 flyers in my hand, and you need me to give you at least read it, and let's expound on what's in the message. But I didn't exactly give you a blank piece of paper and said show up. It's crazy where we at as people today. Then other people just think you trying to bring them to a strip club. I'm like, who's taking you to a strip club with niggas and hoodies and guns in their hand? There's a black man holding this baby with a gun. What kind of strip club would this be? You would be surprised what kind of things you hear from people. A strip club? This doesn't resonate. You never see books on a strip club flyer. It's the last thing you're going to find in strip. You're not going to see a woman shake her ass, see a nigga with his legs crossed on page 36. Going down. You're not going to see something like that. It don't make sense. Our people are lost before they even use their mind. They somewhere else. I don't go to parties. I'm like, this is ridiculous. We're going to go to the next one. So I'm going to play this one right here. To go into the psychology. Some of you may have seen it before, but I'm going into the psychology of the brothers. But I want to open it up with this first.
Maker, who's still in high school, is making quite a stir with her new documentary. It's reignited a powerful debate over race. The teen wanted to do a social experiment first done more than 50 years ago to see what has changed. ABC's David Muir reports instead she learned how much has not.
At a young age, I already knew the standards virtual like me.
The documentary is just 8 minutes long, but the thoughtful debate that has followed has lasted far longer. Just 17 years old, Carrie Davis is an aspiring filmmaker. She had a vision for her high school film project after learning about a simple doll test used to help make the case for desegregation in the landmark case Brown versus Board of Education. In 1954, psychologist Kenneth Clark conducted the test, asking black children which doll they preferred, the black or the white. The vast majority chose the white. The findings were not surprising for the time. With her camera in hand, Carrie sat across from nearly 24 children in New York City.
Can you show me the doll that you like best or that you like to play with? This one. I like them. Can you show me the doll that is the nice doll? Well, why is that the nice doll? He is white. And can you show me the doll that looks bad? Okay. And can you give me the doll that looks like you?
15 of the 21 children preferred the white doll. More than 50 years later, her results mirrored Dr. Clark's. And those results have stirred audiences from New York to San Francisco, from Chicago to Atlanta.
You hear the audience go, oh, they really gasp because they feel the pain.
Selma Dye works at the center founded by the late Dr. Clark and says the results of Carrie's test are just as painful as they were in the 1950s.
I wouldn't take the film to mean that every black child's self-esteem is suffering. We have to continue to ask questions about the film, continue to ask questions about its meaning.
For Carrie, the film was personal.
I remember when I was little, you told, I can't be princess because I'm black, and princesses are black, and it's those little things that kind of get to you after a while.
Murray Scott runs the Children's Center where Carrie conducted the test. He wants to make sure the film is seen by as many people as possible.
Everybody sends jokes around on their email. I send that to them.
What he sees in the documentary are children who cross all economic lines. Carrie never thought her documentary would get so many people talking. Another lesson for this student in the power of her own lens. What do you see when you look at the dolls?
Hopefully one day it won't be such a problem, and that maybe there won't be a quote-unquote good doll or bad doll.
That was ABC's David Muir reporting.
Yeah, so what you think about that? I mean, you saw that one before. Cool, so still some people who didn't see it. Now, that's deep. And the reason why I show that, also for my children, is because I give them a lot of freedom. But at the same rate, I be trying to explain to them the reason why I be so uptight if I hear the white music, because they think sometimes they just listen to white music. Ain't no thing, you know? And I'm like, I have to pump 50, because this one especially is a white girl, black skin. My own daughter. So I have to play the nigga songs here and there just to keep some swag in her. You know what I'm saying? And I have to find some of the most gangster music possible and force it on her, while the other children have to listen to gospel and everything. She has to listen to 50 Cent, because I don't want to lose her. So the thing is this. It is dangerous, and they don't realize it. It is dangerous when your children are listening to white music and watching white media. Now, this is from the same person that says don't blame white people for everything. Yes, and it may sound paradoxical, it may sound a bit contradictory, but I'm really not double talking. That enforces white supremacy, white media, white music. It enforces white supremacy in a whole different way. And then if the children are going to public school, you know, white supremacy is being enforced on so many different levels that we have to be careful. See, there go that real nigga music right outside the damn store. And that's part of white supremacy, believe it or not. Because you have the people that's in charge that will only hire black folks that are willing to sell themselves out. So even if you're hearing black music, you have to be careful because it's a product of white supremacy. All right? And of course people say, well, then you contradict yourself because the white man is the devil. Well, I mean, black people are also deciding to do this. I don't see no Jews out there saying that their wife is a hoe. I don't really see it. I don't see no Jewish rappers exactly sexually exploiting their women on Hanukkah. I don't see it. So we have to really be thinking about this and say, you know what? Something's not right up here. We have lost our self-respect because it's too easy to get most of us to sell out and misrepresent our race. And we never really think as an individual, like I tell my children all the time, and I be telling my wives, like, listen, you wild out, you always represent the rest of the race. It's messed up. One black person do something, the whole race get condemned for it. That's how it goes. You know what? It's like that racially. Anybody do anything, you say, you know, white people be eating people. You know, white people get pissed off when we say that. Cause they like, they know they ain't eat people, but there's just so much of them to eat people, you just say white people eat people. Because you don't find it in other races like that. The Chinese people be eating rats, cats, and dogs because it's going on too much. They had so much rats in their country, they made it a delicacy. They say, hey, we can get rid of these rats if we start eating them. That would never happen in the black community. It would never happen. No one would get the idea, Eureka, hey, let's eat the Project Roaches to get rid of them. We would never come up with nothing like that. There's something weird about the race that comes up with these kind of ideas. It's serious. The Oriental race has come up with even something called turd burgers. You know what I'm talking about? Where they're taking human excrement, feces, and making burgers out of it. Who come up with that? We trying to find a place where to put our shit. How about in the toilet? You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't make burgers out of shit and then eat it like it's a delicacy. I'm going to make sure I put that on the video. You're going to be like, I can't believe this is going on. Turd burgers. That's what they call it. And they say we sick. No, I don't mind the strays, and you know, we shooting someone by accident. We trying to shoot the person we mad at. We shoot someone. That is a minor dysfunction. You got, it's a minor dysfunction where you got people blowing themselves up on purpose and taking down whole buildings. It's a minor dysfunction where you got people in 90-degree weather putting on trench coats and shooting up a whole classroom. When one person bullied them, they still didn't kill the bully. It's a minor dysfunction when you got people saying, hey, there's so much rats, let's just eat them. When you got people saying, hey, let's shit and make burgers out of it. Like, that whole concept makes me turn around and say, black people ain't that bad. We got our problems like everybody else got their problems. I'm just interested in fixing out. I'm not going to tell you somebody's better than us because this is weird things going on. Like, you got rich white people who want to eat their food medium rare. It's like, you're rich, so why would you eat raw flesh? Animals eat raw flesh. Why would you eat raw flesh? And you are rich. Doesn't make sense. The black people are weird too. I used to be engaged to rapper Foxy Brown. I go out with her, I'm like, yo, let's get something to eat. This girl go buy Chinese food. I'm like, you kidding me? You went platinum. You sold over 1 million albums, and you buy Chinese food. It's weird. Think about this. People drive nice cars. In fact, let's just think about the tires on the car. The rims will be $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 for the rims. The sound system will be about $2,000. The interior might even be $4,000, Gucci seats. But the nigga goes and buys a $2.50 meal because it comes with a 50-cent free soda. So it's like, yo, hold on. How do you spend so much money on the things on the exterior? And when it comes to the interior, you're not worth more than $2.50. You get, hey, I got rice wings, and they gave me a free iced tea. I'm like, oh, shoot. And then when I say, yo, get this black rice, that's too expensive. I'm like, yo, you just spent $3,000 on your tires, the rims that go on the tires. But you're not worth a $6 or $7 bag of black rice. This is what you think of your body. You won't live long enough to enjoy that car. And hey, you know, my grandmother lived 95 years old. She ate swine. She probably wasn't in the best state of mind that she could have been. She probably could have been smarter. And people are always trying to use that craziness, that foolishness. Come on, you was raised off of that. You came out pretty good. No, I didn't. I was locked up several times. I joined the gangs. I'm sure the swine has something to do with my judgment. I am a victim of pork. All of us are. Don't let no one tell you, oh, we raised you on pig. I had pigtail, pig butt. That's the weirdest shit. To cut the ass of an animal and put clothes on it and then sprinkle sugar and give it to a nigga and say this is dinner. The ass of an animal. If you knew what you was eating, you wouldn't have ate that as a child. Imagine some animal like this. And you over here cutting into that. Well, first you put sugar on this shit. It's like that's a very weird thing to do to black people. Sugar ass. That's what you was eating. It's a very weird thing to be eating. It's very weird. But we eat these things and feel nothing about it. And forget about it. Chitlins, I was all over that. I was raised on every part of the pig. And then I found out what the hell that was, and I'm still not too sure. Because it was a combination of so much stuff, I just lost count. It was too much stuff going on. And a hot dog, wherever the hell that is. Yo, you wonder why all this violence is going on out here. Because the #1 killer of all people is disease. You can think black people killing white people, black people killing black people killing white people killing black people. You can think that all you want. Black and white people get cancer and diabetes. And more people die from cancer and diabetes than they die from war, or than they die from being victimized by some form of oppression or supremacy. More people die from disease. Then they die from car accidents, war, combined, gang banging. More people die from disease. The chances are the decisions that we make are being grossly affected by the things that we eat. But that's a whole nother class. We're going to deal with that. The black and white people out there fighting each other and cancer kicking both their ass. Don't make sense. But we don't want to go on that high level of thinking and say, man, you know what? I changed my diet because maybe we could just outlive the race that's hating on us. That's a thought. Now you can hate on me for the first 20 years. You'll be dead 25 and I'll be good. I'll be alive to enjoy my old age. We can outlive these races. We just need to spend more time getting to each other. So when we go here and we see that our children will decide the white doll more than they would decide to take on the black doll. And did you see the part where she had to pick the one that was like her and she looked almost like the low self-esteem started kicking in. And she was reluctant to even pick or associate with something that looked like herself. It almost looked like she thought she was doing the wrong thing or she was dissatisfied. And every time I watch it, I say, man, you see, that's not just from playing with the doll. That's from going to school and most of your teachers being other than your race. That's from listening to music that tells you to destroy yourself when it's of your race. Music that tells you that as a woman you should have cheated. You know that song, I should have cheated. You know that song. The other song, bust your window, scrape your car. Are you trying to get that woman killed? You don't scratch no man's car and bust his windows. Are you nuts? You will bust your eye. You don't do that. That's just a no-no. Everyone knows all over the world, don't scratch that black man's car. Everybody knows that. Every man has that thing you don't touch. You gotta be careful. So you got people setting the black women up, bust his windows and scratch his car. And the other sister saying, I should have cheated. And you got these crazy white people saying, I hate to love you, or some craziness. Popular song going on. I hate that I love you. What kind of confusion is this? I had playing one day in my house, I'm ready to break my own computer. I'm about to soak my computer in water. Like now you done tarnished and dirtied up the whole energy I had going. I have progressive books being written on this computer. You got this weird information blasting from my computer. I hate that I love you. And you got the sister saying I should have cheated. And you got another one saying, bust his windows and scratch his car. This people of your race saying this to you. How the hell are we going to survive? And then forget it, every brother's selling you. Every brother's selling you. Every brother calling you a bitch. Very few songs do we hear. Very few songs do we hear someone say, I love my wife. What's the last I love my wife song you heard? Look at the depiction of our community. Look at the image that is being embedded into our psychology. How many I love my mother's songs have you heard since Tupac died? Probably the last real official gangster rapper who actually was tough but also has some consciousness. When's the last time we've heard a Dear Mama song? Closest thing we can get now is Kanye West's Jesus Walks. And according to him, he made Jesus walk. He gonna go to heaven now. He can go. He can do all the demonic shit he has to do now. He made Jesus walk. According to him, this is wild. It's wild. We got to think about what's going on. So it's not just the dolls, but the question is about the edification, her surroundings for the time she's young, and what is being embedded into her psychology. What is she being taught to accept and embrace? Now, likewise, I want to figure out what's going on with the young man, because you see, this is her and the dolls. And she's watching cartoons, and unfortunately, I have to say, you know what? Can't watch too much of those white cartoons. Can't watch them. Just can't do it. So my daughter be here. Sometimes the older children are watching some of that stuff, and I walk in the room, I'm like, that got to be turned off. I'm not trying to be crazy. I'm not a fanatical father. My wives wear heels. They wear fishnet stockings. I'm not trying to drive nobody crazy. But we are not going to be watching white people. It's not going to be a 24-hour white people marathon like most black people houses. They watching Full House. They watching Growing Pains. They watching the Disney Channel. There's nothing but weird homosexual shit going on TV with white people introducing it to your children. Not doing it no more. I'm like, we have to lock that down. We're not doing that. Took my children out of school. I'm not going to take them out of school and then have them sitting there subject to white media. Brainwashing them. Making them think that certain things are cool. People doing weird things. Weird, unnecessary things. There's somebody supposed to be racing in go-karts or something. Then some brother comes out with his drawers on. That's it. Some tidy whities or whatever. And they're blurring out the areas that they should blur out in the middle of the race. I walk in, I'm like, what the hell is this? Oh, what they're trying to do is distract the guys that they're racing against. And then the guy is saying, yeah, man, I saw his insides. That's why we lost. And I'm like, hold on. I'm like, this the whole purpose of this race was so the black guy could come out and do that. It's not the race. You think it's just the race and who's going to win the race. That whole thing was designed so you can see that. And I'm like, it's on Disney Channel and all this stuff. I'm like, come on, man. Back in the days, yo, don't you know the scariest movies that's out right now is PG-13? Have you noticed, if you've been going to the movies, it gets worse and worse. And I'm in the movie horrified. I'm like, I thought this shit was PG-13. I can't even be a man for my daughter. My wife's getting on my case. What's up, nigga? I'm like, I'm over here nervous and frantic. I forgot what movie that was. But it was recent. Huh? Insidious. It's for PG-13. And I'm scared of midgets. And I'm like, I don't need to see no midget popping out of the closet. I'm like, that, I was horrified. I didn't go to the movies for 2 months after that. And I couldn't even be there for my daughter because she sat on my lap in confidence. And I almost threw her 3 feet in the air after I saw the midget. So I'm saying, we have to supervise what our children are listening to and what they're watching. And even if your children go to school and they come in, you got to find out what's going on. Because they got sex bracelets in school. There's a lot of things going on. They're introducing our children to ideas. That if you just work in your job and think, hey, the school's the new babysitter, you'll find out your child has 2 different personalities. The one they have when they come home and the one they have when they're at school. You'll go into school and find out a report and say, that could not be my child. I see it all the time and parents like, who the hell? You're not talking about my child. My child don't do that. Until they come with some hardcore evidence, you're like, I got to kick my child's ass in that. And your whole mentality changed. Like, you've been living 2 lives. You find out your child smoking weed, your child's touching people's behinds, he's talkative or she's talkative in class. You say, I thought I knew you. I thought I knew you. My first wife, I've been with her since 15 years. She used to have the outfit she came out the house with, and then she had the outfit she wore in school. And one day, she wasn't too sharp. She forgot to put on her house outfit, so she came back home with the outfit she wore in school. And she didn't realize her mom was looking at her in the outfit that she changed. And that, you know, of course, her mom put a cut into her. And you know it's bad when you're on a punishment that don't even allow you to go to school because you got a hip. You're not even going to school because you're on a bad punishment. That's how bad you got punished. You're going to stay in the house until you heal. So the ACS or child service cook did it. I didn't see her for about a week or two. And anytime someone's missing from school because they're on punishment, you know it's serious. So this is just one key element. Okay, and forget the fact that she more likely to want a white man anyway, raising all those pretending to be the mother of white children. It's just confusing. The only way that's going to work out at best is if she marry a white man. So all of this is the type of confusion that is embedded into our children's psychology from a young age. Now we're going to go to the next one. We want to investigate what's going on with the men and why they keep talking about military first and forgetting the fact that it's a family. Family first. So what's up with the brothers in the community talking about military first? It's the way they've been raised. Look at the games that our children are playing. And if you watch most of our young brothers, it's hard to raise them. I tell people all the time. But I thought I wanted boys. I really realized something special in girls. They're easier to teach. If you let your boys get too caught up in this, you won't be. They will move back 10 feet and take a running start into the wall on purpose. On purpose. And do it again. To do it right the second time. Whatever right is. So you have violent video games subtly reinforce white supremacy. Think about it. These children will sit in front of the computer for 8 to 12 hours. If you don't stop them, they will sit in front of the video game, counsel, and be there by the TV and play for 8 to 12 hours. I used to do it, but I was playing basketball and all sorts of other stuff. The games now, you can go to strip clubs, you can rob people for no reason, you can shoot people, run over old ladies, they be like, ah, you just ran over a 60-year-old, they be going crazy. And I'm like, yo, y'all sound demonic. Yo, watch this, look what I can do. I'm like, that's not even the premise of the game, that's just something they let you do. That's not even, try beating the board. Try winning for a change. You're running around town, shooting innocent pedestrians for no reason. I'm saying, what kind of state of mind are they putting us in? And guess what? These little boys have to pretend to be white men. The white men have the power. The white men got the guns. The white men are the ones going down shooting blacks, whites, and everybody. You're enforcing white supremacy because in real life, psychologically, you're going to be afraid of white people because it's in your mind. When you watch movies and you watch these video games, you believe in white power. But we get older and become black conscious, and no, don't do that. White man gonna take it. White man gonna come run you down. You know why? Because you've been playing all those games pretending to be in the state of mind of the white man, going around victimizing everybody else. But we wonder where these ideas coming from. Why are you so scared of white people in the black conscious community? Because you were the children playing these games. Blood and gory. Violent video games. Not to mention that the array of colors, the diversity of colors comes so fast. You give you epileptic fits. And you see there's a lot of people not diagnosed because we have healthcare issues in the community. A lot of us have problems and don't know it. And we carry it into adult age, and before we can diffuse it, it meets its climax. And we at the apex of our problems. And we don't know it. A lot of adults have ADHD. They don't know it though. You're here trying to get them to keep their attention for a certain level of conversation, and they lose their focus, just like this. And you wonder why you're saying the same thing over and over, and people are fighting with them. A lot of people are sick, but they need to be diagnosed for them to bear witness. They can't listen to you. Who are you? You're not a doctor. You need a real doctor. You're not going to go to the doctor because it costs money to be going in there and finding out, get head need to be checked. It ain't going to happen. You're just going to be sick and think we normal because since most of the masses are sick and can't keep up with good conversation, we just think it's normal. But most of us are sick. So here it is. We will have our little boys. Let's go to the next one. We're going to have our little boys now play with the guns. But just imagine if we had the balls to allow our little boys to play with a dog. Now people say, man, Polight, now it's getting homosexual. You're talking about allowing your little boy to play with dogs. I said, I'll give my little boy a dog to play with any day before I give him a gun. They said, oh, the white man gonna rule him. No, because he's gonna learn how to be a father. Father's most, if it's anything called gangster and it has a good meaning, the most gangster thing you can do is be a father. Because that means no matter what adversity you are met with, you're going to see to it that you raise your children. And you're going to be there for your wife. So I get it. It's okay for the little girl to pretend to be a mother at a young age. But it's not okay for a little boy the same age to pretend to be a father. No, we got to give him a gun. Toy guns to play with. So this means he'll be more likely or apt to raise his gun before he raises a child. He has no experience in it. They say, oh, you're going to let your little boy play with a dog? That's homosexual. And I said, so what is it when I let my little boy play with guns? He ain't going to be using it until something. What is it? What is it when I let my little girl play with a dog and pretend to be a mother? And she has all this time pretending to be a mother that she gets pregnant early. She's pushing strollers. She's changing pampers. My daughter got a dog that you put water in and she's urinating. It gets so crazy, my daughter just say, you know what? Forget the pamper. My daughter feed her on the toilet. My daughter right here, man. Take the baby to the toilet and feed her. Start going in, giving her meals. I'm like, what if she really do number two? I'm not cleaning that dog. You got to slow down. So the situation is my daughter could pretend at the age of 6 to be a mother. But it is a crime if I say, young man, at the age of 10, pretend to be a father, and let me see what you do. It's interesting, because I give him the same dog. And this dude is carrying the dog by one leg, upside down, dragging. I'm like, yo, what's up? He's playing with the dog. I'm like, that's shaking baby syndrome. I'm like, you can't do things like this. You know what? You need practice. I had to, look, you got to let your brother play with the dog. He's 4 years older than you, but he needs that dog more than you. Because she's over here changing the baby, making sure she know where the baby is at every hour. I'm like, look, she's 6 years old and she got this in her. But my little man, he been on them video games. I like, we got to take you off the video games. You got to pretend to be a daddy. This dude is crazy. Throw the baby in the book bag, throw the bag on his back. I'm like, you can't throw the baby in the bag, man. All sorts of hell with him, man. So trust me, watch your little man. You got a boy and you got a girl, watch your girl be a mother and watch your little man be a father. You see, something is not being passed on in the DNA because we haven't really put a concerted effort on being fathers. It's not a concerted effort. Single fathers, you can normally tell. You look at the hair of the child and you can tell you's a single father. Like, that Negro don't know what to do with that girl. You see it all the time in the hair of the child, that he don't know what he's doing. All the time. We got to be conditioned to also know how to take care of our babies. There's nothing less than masculine about it. We've been taught that it's just the woman. But what happens if something happens to the woman? We as men got to also learn how to take care of our children. There's nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it. You know, I don't like carrying strollers and the slave catcher and everything, put the baby there, carry it. You know, I was holding my baby, fronting. I had to start doing push-ups and everything because she's getting heavier, and they get heavier the more sleepy they get. They get heavy when they sleep. They're like they gain an extra 10 pounds. Everybody got children to tell you. Sleeping children gain 10 pounds. So I'm like, I'm being a man after a while, but man, I'm pushing the damn stroller. Then I see what women go through. You go by the train, and you need to go up some stairs. People just walking by you. Like, I'm like, damn, you be going through this? This is, wow, I learned a lot from my first baby, man. I learned a lot seeing what my wife had to go through because I would watch people. And the only niggas that want to help bring the stroller up is people that want to talk to her who don't want to take care of the child. I'm like, yo, this is some deep stuff. Then you got to do standing by the stairs trying to look up to see if they can see his skirt. I'm like, but they don't want to help pick up the stroller. They just waiting for the whole thing to go down when they go up the stairs. Then you got the people on the train trying to stand conveniently behind the woman with the stroller and hopes that their fathers can kind of bump them on a shaky train. And I'm saying, people are sick. I'm like, he probably ain't even got nowhere to go. He probably just riding the train all day, hoping that he can bump sister's butt. We dealing with chaos. These people need to be home and trained. I wish we need the licenses to create babies. Our whole situation would change. Some people need a license to walk. Talk about drive. Some people don't even know how to walk. Walk. You be walking. People don't know what they doing. It be driving me crazy. They're robots or something. And their battery died. And then it just kicked back in. Last minute, man. People don't even know when to cross the street the right time. Caucasians be standing there. The light is not in their favor. That's when they walk. The light in their favor, they don't walk. It's very interesting what's going on in people's head. Brothers is walking, staring in your car. mad at you. I'm looking at the light. I'm waiting for my turn to go forward. I have the right to go forward. You don't have the right to be peeling into my car, looking at me like I'm staring at you. I'm only staring at you because I've been looking forward the whole time, and you're invading my privacy in my car, but you mad at me. We should have been training them how to raise children. That's what we should have been doing. Idle time is devil time. I wish people needed a license to create babies. I wish we had to take a test to see how stupid you are, so we would know we shouldn't allow people like you to create babies, because you wouldn't know what the hell to do with them. We can't have people like that. And not that silly people can't produce intelligent babies, but silly people produce babies under very strenuous circumstances. They get overwhelmed, and then they don't want to accept the responsibility. And that we can't have no more. We need to encourage our young men to practice being fathers. If you don't like the dolls, practice doing something. Like, first of all, being a father in front of the child. But aside from the obvious, we need to have them practice as much as the little girls practice to be mothers. And not just the nurturing part, responsibility part. Get them accounts at a young age. Whatever it is that you have to do to encourage them to be more responsible. They don't learn it by themselves. Everything I learned about sex came from the streets. My father left me age 8. I met my mom when I was 17. She died the week that I met her. I didn't really learn much from anyone in a better environment than I learned from the Crips when I joined them. Then I became Crip Superior, and I passed on the same brotherhood information to the younger brothers that joined us. And I had more allegiance to them because they was there for me. My family was absent. But the information I got was reckless and ridiculous. But no one else was there to educate me. And that's what's going to happen to all of our children until we start making a more concerted effort to say, you know what? I'm not going to assume you're just going to know the right thing to do. We're going to have to really sit down and talk to you about some man responsibilities. Not that you're the man, so you got to do this, and the woman do. Not none of that chauvinistic stuff. There's some real down-to-earth, this is what happens to your children if you don't do this type of responsibility. Your child needs this. You can't have moms out there being mom and dad at the same time. It's not good for her own chemistry. It's good if she needs it to kick in because of an emergency circumstance. But this can't be happening every generation for most of our race. We can't put them out there like that. So we can't put guns in our children's hands before we put a doll in their hand. And people may say that's not gangster, but like I said, I don't care because I understand what I'm saying, and anybody that's intelligent knows what I'm saying. You don't train your little boys to pick up guns or raise their gun before you train them to raise their children. Guns in the boys' hands, dolls in the girls' hands. Girls making children young, men picking up guns, killing each other. You can clearly see what we're teaching our children is not working. We have to come up with a new science. Or maybe put a gun in one hand, the baby in the other. Balance the shit out. You know what I'm saying? We'll go to the next one. Might shoot the baby. He might, especially going crazy. Hopefully he'll shoot for the baby. So, the reason we don't have nothing, we don't have no money, they say because the white man. We don't have a good house, they say because the white man. We don't have a nice car, they say because the white man. And I can't take care of my children because the white man. We got to get rid of all that. That's just foolishness. It's not true. Ain't nobody stopping us from doing all those things. There's things in place to make things harder for you. Absolutely true. But there's nothing that's put in place that you can't overcome. And if the second you start accepting the fact that you can't overcome a situation, you just set yourself up for failure for a lifetime. So we can never embrace that ideology that things are so hard we can't persevere. Because if you really feel like that, you should kill yourself. I tell people all the time, and I'm going to start carrying ropes to class. I'm going to carry one December 9th for the debate. And I'm going to say, I brought some ropes here for you Negroes who feel like you can't get nothing accomplished because of white people. Please kill yourself. Please. I'm going to bring a crate too. Say, jump off the crate and kill yourself. Because we don't need no more people in our community telling us that we can't do anything. That we have the potential, the divine potential to accomplish. It's not that deep, especially when it comes to raising our children. That's something you can do with little or a lot of money. Because it's not all about money when it comes to raising your children. It's about instilling some serious values and principles. Okay? And training them to be leaders. Training them to see themselves a certain way. Training them to not allow someone into their life that will subject them to a certain level of anxiety, or a certain level of poverty, or a certain level of disrespect. You don't want to bring into your circumference under those kind of circumstances. So, you know, here's a picture, of course, with my daughter, my aunt Hotep Touré, when I took her to Illinois. That was for the first time, and she's by the horses. And that's what it's all about. It's not even about all the money in the world. Money is important, true. And the only reason that I want it is so I can provide a more conducive environment for her and the rest of my daughters. Because when you see the smile and you see genuine happiness, that's supposed to give you the drive to go out there. And that's why I say the worst thing brothers can do is not visit their child if they broke up with their mom, or to be around their child. Because all you have to do is, you got to be evil. If you sit around your child and you see your child smile, that's enough to give you drive to say, I got to come up and do something. You can't see your daughter smile or your son smile and just be lazy after that. There's something wrong with you. And tell the truth, there's something wrong with a lot of men out there. There's something wrong with a lot of men. I can't see it. When I see her, and she wake up every morning and give me a hug and a kiss, I'm like, man, it give me reason to go strong. I'm like, I gotta come up with something. I can't turn to a 40-year-old man and she be in her about 20s, okay? And I'm over here telling her the world is effed up, and I ain't trying to make an imprint on the world to make her situation a little bit better. I have to be a freedom fighter. Even if I'm not the most known freedom fighter, I have to be able to leave a legacy for her to let her know strive. It's like you smoking a cigarette, you telling your child don't do it. It's happened to a lot of us a lot of times. You drinking and telling your child don't drink. It's happened to a lot of us a lot of the times. It is not the right message. You know, at least get a diploma. And then the parent didn't get the diploma. It's stressful to the child hearing something and you say, if it was that, you that did it. That's what children think, and they're not going to say it to you because we know what comes after that. You know what I'm saying? One of those come right after that. So you're not going to do it, but it hurts when someone's telling you to do something that they didn't do. So the least we can do, at least let them see the fight. It doesn't mean don't tell them what to do. That's right. If you didn't do it, it just means we got to be able to show them our fight in some capacity where they can appreciate and accept it and say, you know what? I support what you say. Because even if you didn't accomplish this in your life, I see that you made the sacrifice to make my life better. On an individual capacity, and maybe on a more community scale. Because obviously, what's good for the community is good for the child or the family, but what's good for the family is not necessarily good for the community, which in turn, that's a cliche, that's a gray area. If you're doing only for your family and you're not doing for your community, that's a huge gray area. Because if the community is going to hell, it doesn't really put your family anywhere better socially. You have to do for your community on some scale, because it's always going to affect your family later on in the line. So, yeah, I mean, it's just a powerful, powerful thing when you have a little girl, a little boy looking up to you and looking for guidance or direction, and they even look like you. It's the most powerful. It's almost like you letting yourself down. You are. You're letting yourself down. You're looking into the mirror and you're seeing yourself. Many of you, if you even look at you as a child and you look at your children as children, you say, wow, my child looked just like me when I was younger. You know? Or the female version or the male version. So we can't let our children down. When we see them, it's not even right to bring them into the world. They're innocent and they have these goals and their ambitions. When we was young, I used to put a cape on my neck and think I'm Darkwing Duck or Superman. You know, I had ambition. I jump off the couch and hope I could fly. I try to stay in the air as much as possible. I fall on my bones. My grandmother's scared of me. You know, she's like, yo, stop doing that. But we had ambition to be something big and great. Then you become black conscious and people tell you the white man can stop any goal you have. That's not right. We shouldn't do that to our children. You can't. That's mental abuse, man. You should be locked away for telling your child that there's a constraint on their creativity because of another race. That is child abuse. So when I hear it, I say, man, I hate to be your child, man. I would hate to be your child. Mr. White Man can stop everything? All right, cool. We're going to move on with you. But that is a horrible thing to teach your children. You go forward. So here it is. You go to the church, and the church teaches you what? About spirituality. And it's all spooky. It's about God. It's about the devil. Things you can't touch. Things you can't see. Now, those people say, I can see God. Don't go too deep into that because I'm not trying to get into that part of the argument. They teach you about the incorporeal world, the intangible world. Spirituality, spirit, soul, you can't see it. This is what people always say. But according to any religious dictionary, you look it up, you can even go to Merriam-Webster Dictionary. I gave you 2 sources here with the internet links. Spirituality. You got the state, quality, manner, or fact of being spiritual. That really answers the question. You got to go to the next one. The clergy. That really answered the question. Who writes these dictionaries? Now the third one is real important. Something such as property or revenue that belongs to the church or to a clergy. Think about that. That's from the freedictionary.com. Let's go to another one. This is definitions.net. Definition/spirituality. Often spirituality is property or revenue belonging to the church or to an ecclesiastic. Okay, so here's your church. Here's your church. They teach you a different form of spirituality from the one that they practice. Think about it. This is every church's definition of spirituality. This is a church definition for spirituality. Revenue that they're generating and the properties that they own. And they go on the pulpit and they teach you a different form of spirituality that has nothing to do with property or making money. Think about it. One is teaching you the love of everything in this world is evil. Whoever has the love of money or the physical things in this world don't have the love of the Father. They'll tell you all this. And then their dictionary definition for spirituality is the money they're making from you and the properties they obtain as an end result of teaching you spirituality. So they are teaching you spirituality. Because at the end of the day, they're going to turn that over and it's going to become your pastor's Maybach and it's going to become the properties that they're setting up. You don't have to pay taxes because they're 501c3, and if you can set up as a 501c3, you have to acknowledge yourself as a business first and foremost, to compromise the integrity of the religious mission, because most of these mosques, synagogues, and churches are 501c3s, when they don't necessarily have to be it if they're actual religion. You don't have to apply for 501c3s to be tax exempt. When you're a religion, you're tax exempt automatically, but they do it out of tradition, and in turn, they have to never say something that works against the government policy. Okay, so they disagree with something the government's doing and it represents and reflects everything that the devil is about. They can't turn against it. They can't say it publicly. They gotta leave it alone. They can talk amongst each other if they're 501c3. But on top of that, they're teaching you spirituality represents property or revenue that they generated. Think about that. The guy teaching you about spirituality has this definition of spirituality. Every single person that is part of the clergy knows this as their definition. They can't say they don't. It's a key word. It's one of the things you have to study before you take on the pulpit. Spirituality is getting those properties and raising that money. Any dictionary you go to is going to show you this, especially religious dictionary. So just think about what black people have been taught spirituality is. Why I say that? Because you made them feel guilty if you try to get something tangible out of life. And who's the one making you feel guilty? The people teaching you spirituality. The people that teach you spirituality make you feel guilty when you say you want property and you want houses. So I come in New Covenant and I say, hey, real estate is a big part of our spirituality. And people say, this nigga worship money. What's wrong with you? And I say, I use it in its proper context. Y'all not reading. I'm reading. I'm using the word in its proper context. We get properties for our community. That's our spirituality. It represents our spirituality. Manifestation. You preach, you put the word out, and in return you wind up with properties, you materialize your thoughts. That's what the energy for money represents. Compensation for the work that you produce. You materialize your thoughts. How? Because the revenue that you generate, you materialize your thoughts. You had ideas, you conceived of having a property one day, you work hard, you exert energy, in exchange of the energy you exert, the barometer for the amount of energy that you exerted is represented or best reflected by the dollars that you accumulated, and in turn you use those dollars and you purchase that which you conceived. Now you materialize your thoughts. Thus, spirituality is the right term. It's the right term. Money is the barometer on this planet at this particular time. Let's destroy money. Good luck. Let's do something more practical for those of us that are more sane. Because it's being said, it's on my YouTubes, and what about just destroying the money system? These niggas are crazy. So let's wait for the dollar to fall. When is it going to fall? I was told it was going to fall since I got conscious. Years before I got conscious, the dollar's going to fall. So I'm like, yo, why save money? The dollar's gonna fall anyway. But it ever dawned on people that there's more than a dollar that exists. There's francs, there's pounds. Do you understand that, okay, you waiting for the American dollar before, but where does that put you? Because commerce is still gonna be taking place all over the world. Where does it put you sitting here waiting, hating on America so much, you willing to go down with it just to say, I see it go down. But where does that put you and your family? And as it stands, if our leaders knew that the dollar was going to fall and fall soon, I would have said they made sense. But a lot of our leaders taught us this American dollar is going to fall. And now a lot of them are in nursing homes or die broke. People will say, yo, you poking fun at Dr. Ben. I'm not poking fun at these guys. I'm saying as a young man, I don't want to wind up in that direction. I don't want to teach a bunch of people about a bunch of ancient Egyptian information and wind up in a nursing home, and the very people that I taught had me up in there. How about that one? I don't want to wind up like that. He taught a lot of good information, but it don't mean nothing to me if the end of the legacy is my children not even going to want to follow what I taught, not based on information, but based on how the people receive me that I taught the information to. Because if you don't teach people how to survive, how the hell can they take care of you when you are on decline? If I never taught you how to prosper economically, and I get into a situation, what you going to be able to do with me with more than 10,000 years of information? Nothing. You know, pull out a papyrus and pay my rent? It ain't going to work. It's not going to work. Meanwhile, white man got King Tut going all over the world making money. Let everyone see King Tut. All he got is references from books, from scholars. Nothing we can use today to substantiate our living and improve our disposition. So I said, as a young brother, I don't want that no more. We're not really going to hear nothing new about ancient Egypt no time soon. I don't care what no one tells me. Only thing new we're going to hear is the shit people start making up because we're creative as a black people. We will make some shit up if it starts getting boring. That's what we're going to do. That's what we do. We do it best. How many 2012 spins have you heard? Now we getting closer and closer to 2012. Now you can hear rap piss on cotton. Ain't no one saying nothing now. But wait till 2012 is done out the gate. It's not really 2012, it's 2010. The tsunami took the earth off its axis. You know? And it pushed back time. 2012 gonna come 2 years from now. It's really 2016, God. Somebody gonna keep throwing the spin on it. And we gonna be sitting here waiting for the world to end again another 10 years. We don't stop with this craziness. And all we had to do was work in real time and we'd have had what we needed. We could have just worked. So we conscious, but there's no retirement plan for our people. So the teacher's going to teach till they get old, and then they have nothing. This is what's going to keep happening. What happened to Khalid Muhammad's son? Do we still got his book in here? There you go. Let me get that book. You know I'm using it for the simple matter. Can you get that book for me, brother? Yeah. I actually need another copy. I just happen to pinpoint it. Khalid Muhammad's son is a millionaire. How many of you knew that? When Khalid Muhammad died, you know what happened to his son? Him and Khalid Muhammad's wife, his mother, lived in the projects. So all these people, black power, black power. You gotta be like Khalid Muhammad. He said, kill the baby, kill the crackers. Bush was the baby, Reagan was the baby, kill them all. He said all that, fine. But when he died, what happened to his family? In the projects. And they said, this brother's a sellout because he don't talk about his father. He made $1 million off his Sarah. Millions. He's a millionaire because of Sarah brand he created. But guess what? All that kill the white man stuff that his father came up with, you want him to put that on the Sarah label? Really? He's going to make money with kill, Bush was a baby, Ray was a baby, kill them all, Sarah. That's what he's going to make money off of? That's not going to work. That's not going to work out right. We got to be more practical. That is just not going to work. But guess what? Imagine you as a child, and your father got this black power movement, and people wearing boots, right? And they got those vests that look like they carry grenades. So you know, Negroes ain't got no grenades. They just wear it. It shit looks sophisticated. I ain't gonna front, because I don't be messing with the Black Panthers. When I see it, they got the black under their eyes there. I'm like, these dudes. And the Black Panthers is the one community that really get pitch black people. They like the darkest community. You know, they get charcoal. I be thinking when you join them, you gotta dip your head in charcoal or some shit. Like take their shirt off and see they a tan head or something, like they really light skin. But the point is, when I see them, I say, yo, they got the bomb stuff for their vests. They got the cargo pockets for extra bullets. They got the big black boots that come up almost to the knees, tied tight. And look like they're ready for war. But they couldn't protect their brother's family from poverty. Well, all the army regalia they got on, they couldn't protect the family from poverty. That is a problem. Because you know why? Here it is, this brother could be an excellent resource in our community. Now, I'm not saying he don't help the black community, I just don't know how he does. I don't know if he does. And I'm not here to knock him, like most black conscious people who find out this is Khalid Muhammad's son. What I would tell you is this brother right here, imagine if the black community would have taken care of him like they should have, the people that follow after Khalid Muhammad. How the hell does the first generation go to hell when the leader dies? How does that work? Khalid Muhammad had 2 Rolls Royces, driving some fly vehicles. How the hell do they want to be powerful when he died? Do the white man ever let somebody that they revere as a leader in their community, first generation, go to hell and go to poverty? No, it's a sign of a flawed legacy. But they're the devil, but they take care of their own. We are God and we don't take care of our own. Very confusing. We got all the best things to say about Khalid Muhammad, but then he can turn around and his children can go in poverty, live in the projects along with his wife. We can say big things about Dr. Ben, but do you think his family want to be conscious? You got all these people quoting Dr. Ben's works. But this brother is in a nursing home and the family got to work hard to put money together and make sure he got it. The black community, with all the knowledge of health and everything, he's in a nursing home getting fed low quality food in New York. But niggas is good to give a quote out of his book. And if everyone that gave a quote out of his book put up $5, he wouldn't be in that situation. Just the people who quote his books. And if everyone that supported Khalid Muhammad that could afford $5 just put up money, this brother and his moms would not have been in power. So who the hell want to be conscious when your father's conscious and they leave your ass with nothing? And they don't even give you a knock on the door to make sure you're okay. Because the leader gone, there's no need to try to get no props. He's gone. Ain't nobody give me no props to give me no position, so I got to do anything for you. So I'm saying that's a huge impact on the children. You want your children to be conscious? They got to see what we would do for each other as a community. If you want your children to be conscious, you can't be over here conscious and you don't teach the people to take care of the people. And I say there's no money in this black conscious movement. It's crazy. They say, nah, there's a rich leader here. There's stabilizers. All you have to do is take that person's land, down the whole community shot. It wasn't the community's land any damn way. It was that person's land, or a few people who put it together, and it was allowing us to come on and off. What about the whole community having for a change? It would resonate more in the universe if we taught our people how to have. And as a whole, what we have, we put together. But yeah, this is very interesting, this brother right here. Very interesting. My case studies, I read a lot, man. This is a case study. I'm going to tear and whip ass on December 9th. You know what I'm saying? Because there's things we have to straighten out. Because the white man is not the reason why this brother was in the projects when Khalid Muhammad died. Not the reason. And the white man's not the reason why Dr. Ben is in a nursing home. It's not the reason. It's just not true. So we got to really think about these things before we turn around. White man this, white man that. Oh no, it's black people. There's a lot of stuff that ain't right. More children will be conscious that the leaders actually lead on a good note. Children see this, it's no wonder he becomes somebody just trying to become a rapper and sexually exploit the women. Why should he have any faith or confidence in our community? So I said, I don't know if he's contributing to the black conscious movement. or community in general, or at large. But I wouldn't blame him if he said, the hell with those Negroes, just from a bad experience he had. I won't blame him. You love my father and everything, but you don't care about his wife and his children. I'm gone. And now everybody feels he owed them something with his success. Ain't that how Negroes are? Now you come up, now you're supposed to give everybody something. Like, no, you ain't doing that. Not doing that. We'll move forward. We just about done. So we talking about nation building. I just wanted to throw a few reality checks out there. Family first. We're not going to build no nation, have no country. We got to have our own country. We need a military. We kill some people, kill all the white people on earth, and that's going to organize black people, for real. After all the slaying and killing of white people, we just suddenly going to stop being bloody quick. We're going to stop the abortions. We're going to stop the broken family household. All we have to do is just get rid of white people. All our problems will be gone. Really. It sounds real. You see, in another meeting, if we got rid of all the crackers, we would have no problems. And people, that's right. And then, oh yeah, if you don't see nobody say, just throw a few black powers out there and everybody will be confident again. Anytime you say something kind of stupid, just throw black power, and people get spread again. You start getting tricked into thinking you heard something that made sense. That was productive. So I'm tired. I'm not doing that no more. Yo, people gonna stop listening to you, Pete. And those are the people we want to stop listening to us. So we want to make sure we can see all the people that are safe. We don't feed this information so politically we can be accepted by more people. We feed the information so people can wake up and they can say, you know what, this is the state of mind we need to go in. So we are not going to have no kind of nation, no kind of community, none of that, unless we go family first and have a strong social, economic, and political value. This means this is what we're supposed to be teaching our children from young. Finance from young, and accounts, how to set up, how to plan for your future, how much a house costs, how much you'll be making a year between a man and a woman, idealistically. If you have a goal and you want to get a nice house, you want to get a nice car, we say, you know what? Ask them to say, where do you want your nice house at? Then let's do some research. Let's do title searches on the properties and check out the comparables, the properties next to the property that you are interested in investing in. See what the value, the fair market value of those properties are. And the fair market value of those properties are $150,000. And what your child plans to do is have a job that only gives them $40,000 a year. Then this means that they're going to have to idealistically find them a wife that's making at least $70,000, $80,000 a year. Or if they find them a wife that matches them in income, how long will it take them to actually pay off the mortgage, considering the interest, considering they give them a modified loan, considering all these different things. Because if you want to have the American dream, no one has actually told us to factor in and carry the ones over when we have these American dreams. We just want a nice house and want a nice, what kind of car you want, how much it costs. What kind of house you want, how much it costs. What's the fair market value of that property? What are the comparables? What's the property tax going to be? Let's be for real so you can tell yourself, you know what, I have a very unrealistic dream. Or you know what, I need to create a better circumstance if I want to have that kind of reality. But to just have the dream and never seriously factor in what's it going to take to emancipate yourself from whatever situation you're in to come into a higher level of living, is not fair to let people dream like that. You should shut them down real quick. Not as a hater, but say, look, these are some things you need to consider before you start dreaming. So when you go back to sleep, you can dream about the better job you're going to have or what kind of product you're going to create. That's the better dream. Don't just dream about what you want. All right? So, family first. You have to teach your children social values, status correction. Identify yourself as a specific group or a specific race. Do this thing legally with a group or community, on a community scale like we joined as New Covenant members. My first year at New Covenant, I had people, they grown patient. I was talking about a marshmallow effect in Chicago last week. I taught about the marshmallow effect. It's an experiment that took place at Harvard University in 1972. They had over 600 children. They had Oreo cookies, pretzels, and they also had marshmallows. And they gave the children marshmallows, and they told them, if you can wait 15 minutes, if you can endure for 15 minutes, and withdraw or withhold yourself from eating another food, we'll give you more. But if you can't eat, knock yourself out. But we'll give you more if you wait 15 minutes. Most of those children ate. The children that waited, they come to the realization Later on, 20, 30 years down the line, the children that ate that food that were impatient became the criminals, the prostitutes. The impatient children, people that gave their parents help. The children that waited for 15 minutes to get their next treat, those became some of the most successful people. Those became your mayors. Those became your governors. Those became your entrepreneurs, your CEOs of companies. It's called the marshmallow effect. You can look it up. They did it with 600 children. It really originated in Trinidad. They replicated the experiment at Harvard University in 1972. And they started off with Oreo, cookies, pretzels, and marshmallows. It's a very deep experiment with 600 children. And it shows something about people who just live in the now, just want now. And the people that have the patience to wait. So you give people a plan. You say, yo, baby, it's going to go down. But it's going to take about 9 months. People, 9 months. 9 months for your investment. You got $900, wait 9 months. That $900 is going to become $1,800. You can make this happen. Nope, spending $900 now on some shoes, dress, makeup, you go in club, drinks is on the house. This is the mentality for a lot of people. They can't wait. They grow impatient 1 month in, 2 weeks in. They grow impatient. It shows something about our nature. The unsuccessful never have the patience to let something germinate or flourish. It takes patience. So we say, oh, the liberation of our freedom, the only thing this white man understands is war. So we got to bring it to him, kill this cracker. You know why? Because we impatient. Let's just fight. Let's just fight. Kill ourselves in the process. So we're going to die in the process. I'm telling you that now. You think you're going to run up on Mr. Holding the tanks, Mr. Heart Waves, it sends you a heart wave, makes you shoot yourself. That's not the situation you want to do right now. We don't really want to get involved with that kind of experience right now. He's focused on people that's actually organized around the world. He's not really worried about, yo, he at war. No. Gaddafi was at war. Bin Laden's at war. Saddam Hussein was at war. O.J. Simpson is at war. They ain't never let that nigga go. You know what I'm saying? He's at war. The black community is not at war, except for the war they've waged on each other. Whoever fault it is, who gives a damn? We got to fix this damn problem. And we can fix it with opportunities. So when people feel they don't have opportunities, that's when they produce crime. Criminality corresponds with people who feel they are limited in opportunities. When you feel like you have very little or to no options, you will do some very criminally insane things. More options, there'd be no need for the crime. So we have to give people ideals, goals, options. Let your children know there's options before they think, you know what, I just gotta go to war. A lot of people find religion, like the black conscious movement and other religion, they find it because they're upset with something. And it makes them feel good about the situation. It feels like you're going somewhere, but all you're doing is identifying your problems with it. It's a feel-good experience. And you get to walk away from it. Hopefully there's another meeting later on, so you go back to it at the end of the week. It's just a feel-good experience, but it really doesn't solve the problem. It's just a Band-Aid. That's all it is. It's a Band-Aid on a wound. It don't make you feel any better. It doesn't medicate you. It's just a feel-good situation. You got to come out of that. So here you go. You got family first. You need strong social, economic, and political bodies. If you're serious talking about building a community, you have to have that. Then you have to have a moored population. Moored just simply means anchor. This means that people that are really down and they're not going to go nowhere. A fixed population. There is no true nation, a government, a group of people unless you have a moored population. Not more as in moors, moored as in anchor, something that has you locked in. Okay? Which means membership, a self-recognition. People that are aware or identify themselves as a specific group of people, and they are not going to disassociate themselves from that at no point or the other. And that's what comes with the status correction, and you move as a community together. Then you have economy. You got to have an economy. What is it that's your bread and butter? You see the Arabs, they got the gas station. You see the Hindus, they got the hair. See the Chinese people, they got the fingernails and all that. Get your nails done. You see all these other people or races have their bread and butter. Tony's, he has the pizza shops, as well as the other things the Italians have. Normally they have the garbage truck business, at least in New York. I don't know who's running the garbage trucks out here in Philly, but Italians are heavy with the garbage. And black people, we just throw our garbage out with the Italians. We get our nails done with the Chinese. We get our hair from the Hindus. You know, our whole shit is twisted. We just consume. So what is it that we do? We just consume. We got to have our bread and butter. So New Covenant, we have real estate. That's where we generate a lot of our revenue. Then we have publications that we put out. And then we provide services. And that generates revenue separate from the intervention of anyone outside of us. These are things that we control. We have our own publishing company. We produce our own books. We don't give it to no third party, even if they can mail the books out quicker, we refuse to. If they can produce the books quicker and mail them out quicker, we refuse to. You have to do it that way. So then whoever's selling the books like Black and Nobel in here, whoever's selling the books, we are creating a market in such a way that if you want to get the books, you have to go to the black business that we say can sell the book. Other than that, you have to come to us to supply it. That's it. That's how you lock it in. If people really want the information or that particular information from that particular author or that particular community, they have to go wherever that publisher decides or at their decree who can sell their books. That's how you take back control. Because no one's going to tell us we have to sell out. It's just not working like that. And that's selling out. Giving it to someone else from another race because they say they can produce it quicker and better and faster. When you know they're not going to turn that money your way and make sure black children get a better education. They're not going to do it. So why even give it to them? You're just helping more people of another race improve their situation. That's selling out. So take those things into consideration. You have to have something that you manage or make money from. So we can always invest in gold as a community to have stockpile of it, not just individually. Always invest in silver as a community to stockpile it. Securities, as in bonds or state, okay, or goodwill bonds. These are promises or promissory notes, agreements with your community that you generate X amount of revenue from specific activities that you exert or energy you exert. Those are things, you know, that you want to take into consideration. Gold, silver, securities, bonds, estate, because you need economy. You need something that other competing nations are willing to identify that has some kind of intrinsic value, monetary value, willing to barter in exchange. You have land. That's next. You gotta have land. We seriously talking about building a community, then you're gonna need land. Multiple land, not one. Any true nation has multiple land masses. And with that land, you need what? Alliances. Because you ain't going to war with the whole world. And if you go to war with one person, you are not going to war with one person or one entity. They have an alliance. You got to be for real. You just got to be for real. To kill the white man stuff is just not practical. It's childish talking like that. We got to start really putting it down to say, look, if we really want to go that direction, we got to start thinking about things like this. And this is a synopsis. It's more detailed, it's more intricate, but it's just to say that just kill anyone who's white. That's not going to get us nowhere. It's not going to work. It will be stopped, not just because we don't have the military force. It just don't make sense, and that's it. Oh, step one, kill the white man. Step two, the world is ours. That's a stupid thing to think about. It's just not practical. We should stop teaching that. We should spend more, we should challenge people to come up with a better presentation to represent their ideology of kill the white man. We can't do no more speeches like that and waste people's time. So land, we need multiple land. Multiple. And that's why the New Covenant, we did this last year, this whole year, pardon me, this whole year 2012, everybody's just encouraged to get their trust, their sovereign irrevocable private trust, and get their status correction. That's it. We said as a community, we'll wait, and we withdraw from doing several other services we provide. We did some on the side for whatever the caseworkers can handle, or the mortgage specialists can handle, or the death discharge outlet can handle, but for the most part, we told everyone, just get your status correction and your trust as a rites of passage. Why? Because the move for next year, 2013, all those members, by the hundreds, we're now going to take them into the echelon of buying properties, left and right, where everyone has some kind of equity, because estate counts as revenue. And because we teach how to buy property for a very cheap price, very, very, very cheap price, and I'm going to have testimonials December 9th. I'm actually driving out tomorrow to interview a brother who bought 2 pieces of land, all right? One he bought for $50, one he bought for $20. But of course he had paper, processing fees and everything, and by the time he was done, he spent $950 for 2 properties, land. One with a house on it. And the property he bought for $50 plus processing is worth $32,000. and the other property he bought for $20 is worth $8,500. And no mortgage, you know. So imagine everyone in the Black Power movement get them some land. Then we have a place to train in privacy, not in the projects. I see cats on the yellow street light going in talking about they playing for the white man. I'm like, that's not gonna work. They can see what you want to. We need some land so we can do our tire thing and climb the wall. This is serious stuff. I'm not lying to people, because every time I give people a date for when we go out to buy these properties, the Negroes never show. I say just show up and sit there just to see it go down. So you know it's not a lie. But you know what they do? They mock me, they ridicule me, and I don't even share all the information I would like to share because it sounds like I'm lying anyway. I tell my family all the time, I say, why you don't put it on YouTube? I sound like I'm lying. I just told people, right now, yo, the dude bought 2 properties, one for $50, one for $20. What's up? What's that?
One right here is cash.
You just get one too?
I got one for $1,600. It's worth $102,000.
Thank you. Raise that. You new cabinet member, right?
Yeah, of course.
And he got his paperwork right there. Come to the front, my brother. We're going to get your testimony too. I'm going to add both of you to the same video. And no matter how much testimonies I get, he know all those people. Yes, they joined the community and they gave a testimony. I'm videotaping the brothers. I mean, goddamn, what you expect? But I said, I'm going to keep doing this over and over until people say, that's just too much testimonies. So you pay $1,600, right? Let me see, certificate of tax sale. Powerful. The Office of Finance of Prince George's County, Maryland, by Gail D. Francis, Director of Finance, as collector of taxes for said state and county, does hereby certify that on May 14, 2012, they were sold to Aaron Frederick Lemon at public auction for the sum of $1,628.02, of which $1,628.02 has been paid, as well as a high bid premium in amount of no money, of which no money has been paid. The property in Queen Anne, 7th election district of said county, described as follows: set up new from OM account, boom, yeah, the number, and 3 acres, a little shy of 4 acres, 3 acres of land, worth $101,900. $101,900. So here it is, you spent $1,628.02, and the fair market value of this 3 acres of land is $101,900. With a house with 4 chimneys on it. Now when we say come out to the damn cells and just sit there and watch, because we play Monopoly. They don't start with this. If someone buys a property for $1,600, someone buys a property for $50, $20, I'm trying to get everyone in the hood that falsely claim children on their taxes to get down over there and start buying these properties. We should be doing this every opportunity. Because look, you have home equity lines of credit. Do you understand the brother with just a 600 credit score? And if you have a problem with credit score, we help you out in the community with that. With a 600 credit score, at something like, or at Sovereign Bank, 600, 650 credit score, you can get the $101,000 in equity on a car. If you know how to invest your money in enough time, you can pay it back. Forget the fact you got to pay a little interest. 101 stacks in your pocket with this kind of information, you can buy a whole bunch more property, go nuts. Buy you a Subways franchise. Buy you a phone franchise. New Covenant helps you if you want a phone franchise. We can get you in for $20,000, $25,000. If you got $20,000, $25,000, we can get you in. And if you're smart, you probably mess with AT&T because they're going to have a little copyright on the iPhone 5 for a little hot minute. And no one else is going to have it unless they buy it from them, so you automatically going to be making money off of that. Or Metro PCS, for everyone that credit is shot, that's where the whole hood goes to. So either way, you got to know how to invest. You know what I'm saying? So we are here. We know your situation because we come from your situation. I didn't even know this brother was coming today. You know what I'm saying? So this is so fly. I'm glad you did this, man.
He was the first one.
He's the first one here. He's at my lectures every state damn day I go to. He ain't playing around. This is not no joke. And the brother that work in Whole Foods that we talked to, that's the brother I'm talking about that spent $20 and $50 for his properties. If you see him, he got a bounce. He's happy. He's almost so giddy he look gay. He's just excited. He's all over the place. And he looked like he thought he stole something. He's in Whole Foods, probably the happiest Whole Foods worker. He feel like he stole something. And I'm going on his land tomorrow to videotape him on his land, just to get the confirmation. But even when we do it, that's not really the land. We don't get the address. People say, but you know that's probably fake. I'm gonna say do the title search. We'll teach you how to do the title search so you can see that this property is people still. But that's his boy though. It don't stop. So we're not really doing it for the critics. We're doing it for the people that say, you know what? That's too many damn testimonials keep going up on YouTube. People keep reducing me to timeshares because I learned how to make money off of timeshares, because most people use it for vacation purpose, which is insane. So I've been showing people how to make money off of it seriously, okay? But I get flack for it because it's called a timeshare, because people think they know what I'm teaching. And the thing is, we're getting the properties for cheaper because we got the status correction. So the reason why we do the whole sovereignty thing, because you get benefits by being sovereign. That which people don't tell you about. Not the fanatical, go against the government, we hate you, I'm not a citizen. We don't do that. We're not involved with all that craziness. That's a premature move. You got to go through these steps before you start talking that. You want to talk big shit, you got a community of 30, 60 people. You can't talk like that. That's insane. We are doing the sovereignty because there's benefits that come with being sovereign, like tax and real estate benefits. This information is in the books. It's in the Buy the House, Sign the Contract book. It's in the Introduction to the Tax Lien, Tax Deed book. It's in the Kill 'em with Paperwork book. It's in Real Estate or Legal Fiction. It's in the Inequity or Iniquity, Debt, Wealth, or Asset Wealth. Nobody is teaching the sovereignty and running it concurrent with real estate, to make sure when you get your property it's protected. Plus, we're training and teaching people, buy your property without a mortgage, so you don't be paying for it for 20, 30 years. Now, $1,628.02 for 3 acres of land with a fair market value of $101,900. So we teach the members, if you want to sell it back for at least 15%, because that's a crackhead price. Sell it back for 50% of the fair market value. Because if he sold it back for 50% of the fair market value, he'd be around $16,000, which would mean he's making a hell of a profit. Because he sold for $16,000 and he bought it for $1,600. You good money. You good money. So if you sell it for 50% of the fair market value, you're guaranteed going to sell the property back. It's a guarantee. It's only 15%. That's a crackhead price. If anything, people are not going to trust you because it's so low. You might have to raise the price. You got to keep it, and you got to keep buying more, because we're encouraging members to buy over and over again. Like the brother that bought the 2 properties, he's going again in February to buy more. So we're encouraging each member to buy over and over and over again, and we interconnect each member's property under the auspice of our community. So no matter where we at, it's part of our community, because it makes your property taxes cheaper if it's all considered one property. Property don't have to be connected to each other for it to be considered one property. 1. That's one reason. 2, we are really bossing up as a community or on a government scale when we do this. 3, the concept is to get our farms going. The concept is to have some kind of private community living going. And also to turn this back into the wealthy blacks that used to exist some 20, 30 years ago. Black people was owning properties left and right. If we could buy these properties with no mortgage, and that opportunity is right here, right now, we have so much options, it is ridiculous. I was saying, get your status correction, get your trust, and go nuts, because all of this is obsolete. You don't have to do this. You're never going to be homeless. Is this your first property you ever bought? This is your first one. And you smiling just like the whole you got this cheese like.
No, I had a first one. First one
Yeah, let that go. But you got this one though. And look at it, you got no swatting either. People be mixing me up with my man in Chicago. We don't do stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? We don't squat. We purchase these joints. We get the deeds. Alright? It says property described herein is subject to redemption. Upon redemption, the holder of the certificate will be refunded the sums paid on account of the purchase price together with interest calculated on the amount, excluding the high bid premium. Thereon, at the rate of 20% annum per the date payment and date of redemption, together with all other amounts specified Chapter 761 of the Acts of 1943 and the Acts administratory thereof, the balance due on account of the purchase price and all taxes together with the interest and penalties thereon, accruing subsequent to the date of sale, must be paid to the collector before the can be delivered to the purchaser after November 14, 2012. The proceeding can be brought to foreclose all rights of redemption in the property. This certificate will be void unless such a proceeding is brought within 2 years from the date of the certificate effective this 14th day of May 2012. So again, I congratulate you, my brother. This is fly. I'm glad you're here. You know? And like I said, seeing is knowing. And every time I'll be having classes, I've been making an effort to call people out, like, do me a favor, just stand up for class. But I ain't even call him. He just happened. I just want to bring something up. And he's like, look, it's a powerful thing when you're in a community you have. It's nice. When we're a community, we say, hey, we finally got some land. Because that don't even happen in communities. Last time we seen that was Dr. York. So, fine. That's fly. But it's even flyer when everybody in the community is like, yo, I got my land, he got his land. So if ever somebody raid us or push us out, we can go somewhere else. We don't have to worry about a Hurricane Katrina or something. If all of us got land and we on a community scale living, we can say, well, you know what? We can go to one of our brothers or sisters' places because we make these as safe abodes or room for excellence. If you read our mission statement and you read our oath, if you read our mission statement and you read our oaths, you will see that we talk about having an exodus, a safe place or abodes for members, people that have identified themselves as such in terms of their status, direction, and their legal disposition. People we know we can trust. Not Negroes who come in and start blowing blood and trying to grow marijuana plants on land and like, yo, hold on. We over here trying to do what we doing over here. We don't want to break the laws of the land. We're over here setting up a place so we can have our homeschooling done, so we can grow some food, because we have a serious outline and agenda. This first year, we just said, look, listen, get your status correction and your trust so you can protect your assets. Your sovereign irrevocable private trust protected by Article 1, Section 10 of the United States Constitution, and so forth, so on, also protected by United Nations Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Get your status correction and your trust. Next year, this year coming in, where we started with a lot of members already, we get everyone to buy mostly land, but also some property. But we want you to get land to build a house for them. Because we got a lot of carpenters in the community. We can employ them. And we can create our own business. And then when we got our own farm, then guess what happens? We'll need some trucks. Because we want to bring the produce into town, which means we'll need some stores. Because people who own the stores, store owners, can have the produce to sell. We're creating jobs. Because it's going to be a necessity for trucks. It's going to be a necessity for farmers. It's going to be a necessity for stores. And so forth and so on. We can use the revenue from that, a percentage of that, our market value, not fair market value, our gross domestic product, which determines our market value. We can take some of the revenue from that, the truck drivers and the produce and the farmers, we can take revenue from that and we can invest in another stream of business. That's how that thing works. But the hardest thing was like, how are we going to get the land? Now we crack the code. It's too easy. Too easy. And how you going to get the land? We're supposed to get several. So you can leave some over for your wife, leave some over for your children. So we got something called the transposition lien methodology, where the members who are men, when they marry their wives under new covenant, we make sure that the women know in their agreement that they're entitled to whatever land that they purchase. People say, but we ain't got no land like that. But bro, you get the land from man cheap. $50, man. Buy you some land and make sure she get that in case y'all break up. So she got some equity. If ever she got to cash in on the property, she needs to stay alive to feed her child, a baby, whatever the case is. Not that we saying that you're not going to take care of your children, but we're making more responsible arrangements and agreements as a community so we can be known as more upstanding men and establish a better reputation for our community. This is the vision. We just moving forward with people growing patient. I'm like, look, take your time. Members of the community, I want to do something. I'm like, yo, hold on. This year, unless you're trying to do a little birth certificate or something, like my brother here, who did his own sovereign affidavit nativity for his baby with no birth certificate. We're creating our own recording, live birth of the child as a deed. You understand? As another upstanding new covenant member. If you're not doing stuff like that, or you're just trying to get rid of your credit problems because you want to make sure you're in line, so when you get your property, you can move and you're not stagnant. If you're not doing things relative to the prospective mission for this particular year, we left it alone. Some people are like, oh, I'm just sitting here not doing nothing. You're supposed to do something. You're supposed to get your status correction, your trust, or fix your credit. Do those things in the community right now. That's what we said. Do those things. So when next year comes, the community as a whole, so we can have hundreds of people get their property at the same exact time. That's what we're doing as a whole. No more individual stuff. As a whole, because there's more power in doing it if you wind up with hundreds of members with properties, plural, at the same exact time, and they all protected by the sovereign and vocal property trust. Don't worry about that. People getting married and saying, here's some property over to you. We'll change the direction and the incentive of our community and almost overnight while people still talking about killing white people. I bet you. I bet you. So, strong government needs funding, and we talked on that scale. Then you talk about military. All of this exists first. Family first, population first, membership, economy, land, multiple land at that to substantiate your community strength. Then you talk about government, how we're going to pretty much govern ourselves accordingly. Then you talk about military because there's something to protect. Trust me, no one's thinking about you like that. Up until the point of probably government, when you really start seriously organizing on a scale. And yes, we have a form of government in New Colony right now. We just get people to take proficiency exams either to be employed, also they can be registered to vote for members of the community that work their way up into positions that's going to be necessary as we have all these different lands and things of that nature. It's going to be necessary. Right now we're making sure people are educated enough so they can vote, so they can register to vote amongst us in our own community to pick who their leadership is. That's what this is about. You don't want anyone voting, anybody who don't even have knowledge of who and what we are and what we represent. You want to make sure that the people that are picking people have a certain level of information. That's the whole construct of the Electoral College and the popular vote. They want to know that people who are qualified to make a political decision, their vote will count in that 270. More so than the vote of someone who we don't really know, you know, how proficient they may be in politics. All right? So it's the same understanding, minus the popular vote. So, okay, then you have recognition, which is alliance with other nations. That's very important. We go to the next one. Real important thing. Now we go into this. This is interesting. So people say, so how are we really going to claim nationality? Right? And there's a lot of ways we can go about it. And this is not beyond us. You have to purchase land, but all the land is owned by nations already. Yes, you can maintain a certain level of sovereignty on land that you purchase. Absolutely right. But if you're talking about total sovereignty, in essence, as far as nationality is concerned, there's several ways you can do it. There's one way. One millionaire activist piled sand on top of a reef located in the Pacific Ocean, south of Fiji, and created an artificial island to start the Republic of Minerva. The waters are international domain and subject to the discretion of the creator. So this person created land, because if you create your own land, then you can say the people come from that land. This land has to be a certain size, so it holds a couple properties there. You can hold some families. You can say everybody, but to make the residents. Legal. The waters, international territory. So people say, yo, if I'm talking some serious shit, I'm like, yo, let's get all of us buy properties. And that's all of us with several properties, take some of those properties out, take the equity out, turn around, and let's put some land somewhere it wasn't. You see, now that sounds insane to people who don't think like that. But I'm like, this is one of our outlets. We can actually do this. But some of us just think too small. It's legal, and we can actually do it, and there's cases just like this one where people have inserted land in places so they can create their own republics. Now it's called the First Republic of New Colony, and that represents all of the properties that each member buys that's interconnected and affiliated with each other under the same tax bracket. But in this particular construct, this is our goal, to turn around and get all these members as shareholders to that land, because the amount of productivity that's going to take place on the land, every pioneer that's part of that movement will be entitled to their percentage and get the contract and everything that represents it. You say, take your equity out. You only spent $1,600 on your $101,000 property, so imagine if we can get 10 of us to do this. That's $1 million each person. See that? That's $1 million each person. 100 people, 10 billion. We keep going, keep going, keep going. We can get it done. Don't have to be that big. We could insert 3 acres of land somewhere in the ocean. It's a bit expensive, but not that expensive if you got 100, 200 members there. And the equity to support it, And as I tell the members, don't be so quick to sell those properties. Because the brother who got it in Gettysburg, I'm like, where Abraham Lincoln was at? Leave that there. 5, 10 years later, people be calling you saying, listen, we need that land because we're building this wall over here. We're changing the whole demographics of this area. And that's where you cash in. It's nothing different from internet real estate, electrical real estate. What I mean by that? I buy domain names all the time. Why? Because somebody's going to need it. Dr. York's brother, he had AIM.com, African Islamic Mission. When Dr. York had Ansarullah community, he had African Islamic Mission. Now his website is called The AIM. You know why? Because AIM toothpaste bought him out for $1 million, made his first $1 million with that. So from there, he learned to purchase domain names. Buy XYZ if you can afford it. You hear a new rapper come out and he ain't smart enough to name a website of himself? Buy that shit first. I do it all the time. You'd be surprised. Buy domain names. I be knowing a lot of shit on the low. But you see, it's hard talking to Negroes. Trust me, domain name only $2, man. Buy them and sit on it. You don't gotta pay for it every month, just buy it and sit on it. It's real estate. It's internet real estate. Somebody needs to build on that name. Trust me. That's one of the deepest things you want to hear from a class in the hood. Trust me. Trust me. So, and that's a gift right there. Go there, think of a sophisticated name, think of a name that's been put out there, just buy it and sit there. That's what investment is all about. Sit there. 10, 15 years later, maybe 5 years later, maybe 1 year later, it doesn't matter. But if you do it now and you don't think about it, you're good. Purchase some stars. They need stars to be named all the time in case something happens they can reference it. Purchase stars. I talk about it in my 2012 book. I got stars named after me. You say, you go purchase stars? Yes, there's so many of them in the sky, they need to register. If something happens and they want to, if something happens to the star and they want to put it into their publication, they have to pay the person who copyrighted the name of that particular star money. I made 12 stacks from that, from a Note Junior that exploded. Just simple stuff. Simple things. I could go on forever. I should just do a class, go on forever. But it's hard. Because people, no, the white man gonna take your star. This is what I gotta deal with. This is what I gotta deal with all the time. I keep running into how the white man gonna shut us down. So I just be like, man, forget it, man. Forget it. But then you're gonna think everybody's making money, owe you something as black people, when you're giving them the information to do something for themselves on their own. Did I charge you to get that land? No, I didn't. You bought your book, you're reading the lessons, you study, you give a call, you got your case working, you go out there, you did what you had to do, you got the land. I ain't give me the money, I buy land for you, then you get the land. I ain't do no nigga shit like that. You get the information, you go out there and you do what you do. It's to free you. So now you can discern who's real and who's not. Then you say, well, I joined all these other communities. Have you been in other communities before? Good for you. Why you haven't?
I mean, like, I grew up in a Christian community. Other than that, no.
What'd you get out of it? Did you get a land for $1,600 that's worth $101,000?
Oh, no,
$1,600, $28.02. You guys all thinking about that. And I be jealous of the members, and I be doing it, and I be jealous of them. Damn, how you got that one? Cause that's big. That's big. My brother who got the $50 land for $32,000, my wife is like, whew, can't wait till February. She been on my case. Like, don't you talk about you gotta do lectures. Cause I ain't been buying no property because I've been state to state for the whole year. She telling me February is vacation. We are going back. And we are not doing no more setting up books and we've been doing this the whole year since December 31st. I've been traveling state to state to state. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia next Sunday. I'm in Brooklyn this Wednesday. It don't stop. I come back, I'm in Harlem. We got there in Harlem. We got to that December 16th. I'm in Hayward, California. This January 6th, we stay in California. Then I'm in Sacramento, California. In between there, I'm in Los Angeles. Then I come back, I go to Tennessee. So it's wild. She's like, listen, do what you want to do. But when February coming, the members are going out. I'm on deck, and we're gonna take a little vacation, and we're gonna be buying some more properties. But this is crazy. Every time they gotta sit in the class or see somebody, they're like, yo, what's up? We the ones that don't get to do it because we hanging out with you. How that work? You know, they don't even get the books. They're like, we producing the books, and we don't get to read them. What's wrong with you? I'm like, yo, we low on supplies. We gotta sell it. You know what I'm saying? They be in the crib bootlegging the books. I'm like, yo, y'all horrible. Horrible. I'm like, where you get that from? Yo, what you doing? So this is the this is an idea, you know, and it's powerful. We should have big goals, so even if we came up short, we have a lot to pass on to the children so they can perfect our rationale. You just got to set the bar high. You set the bar high, even if we come up short, it'd be something worthwhile. Just got to set the bar high. Stop this, at least get a diploma. You need to start talking. Look, you watch the Mavericks owner for the Dallas Mavericks in basketball. What was it when you was a child that inspired you as you're a big-time millionaire today? He said he loved basketball, so he wanted to own a team. We love basketball, we want to play for the team. I'm like, yo, we got to really change our mentality, man. So we should start going, I don't want to just own it. I start buying some land, I got some land now. I'm like, you know what, that's whack, it's easy. You see how easy it is. You know, so fine, after you claim Ray or Day, you bought acres of land for the income tax. Now you just need to turn around and say, you know, let's get an out. That's what you need to take it there. We are a whole community that's upset with our situation. How a whole community upset with their situation can't get out. We don't like the whole world? Let's get out and separate ourselves from the world. How about that? So we go to the next one. Even more interesting, you can buy property on other planets. Property on other planets. Mel Gibson got about 3 acres of land on the moon. And niggas ain't got no land on planet Earth. And we still trying to find out how to get out the peas. And you got these white folks investing in land on the moon. But that's another thing. We can invest in property on other planets and the building that takes place on it. And in turn, identify ourselves as a specific group of people who come from that particular place, or give reference or associate identity to that particular place. Land is land. On planet Earth or outside planet Earth. Very true. Very true. These private companies need someone to invest in their building projects. And in turn, you get sovereignty in exchange for the purchase of land. That will be acknowledged on planet Earth, even if you never step foot on that planet a day in your life. There's ways around the situation. Say private companies. Private people that just like, look, just give us money so we can build. Private companies. Socially moral investments, what they would call it. Not affiliated with no nonsense. Go to the next one. So again, I always direct people to the inequity, debt, wealth, or asset wealth. Economics is very important. It's the most spiritual thing that we can do right now. It's organized collectively in terms of finance. Let's go to the next one. Blood is thicker than water. People lie, but DNA doesn't. Very important in terms of sovereignty. Any questions you ever have on sovereignty, that is the tone to get. There's a lot of misconceptions about sovereignty and what it is, and people always associate it to white people getting locked up. And that's not what sovereignty means, nor is that what it represents. It's the things that people are doing, getting themselves locked up and calling it sovereignty, and it might be done like that on purpose, so when you hear the word, you get scared. Okay? And then you got to buy the house under contract, protect the asset, and also pay yourself for millionaires. And houses are the new credit cards, are the new covenant preference, because of course upon buying the properties you want to have an idea how to manipulate your ownership in legal ways to, you know, enable you to invest in franchises or what have you, or how to rent out your property, or if you want the government to use it as a halfway house, or if you want it to become something like a nursing home, because they're running out of space and they broke, and if people could just buy the property and then they pay the property taxes and then the government come in, the government's always going to give you a check.
Obviously, Wesley Snipes didn't know about this stuff.
Nah, ain't nobody coming. I think he had some white boys in the situation. Sorry to you. They some fanatical people. They'll have you in the basement looking out the window, hoping the, you know, feds ain't knocking the door, United Nations security ain't coming for you, you know. They are throw your passport and your birth certificate in the water type of people with no nothing, no identity. We not into that. We just want the real estate and the tax benefit because we have a goal and a plan that's practical. We're not here overthrow the government. We still believe and confide in the fact that America is one of the best places you can be on planet Earth, despite its BS. We're not going to go nowhere around the world minus BS. You just got to pick which one of the poisons are you willing to endure. Just reality. People say go back to Africa. Africa has some very tough conditions. The people saying go back, don't even travel to Africa. And when they do, they take in photo shoots next to the pyramids, next to languages they refuse to learn after 20, 30 years. Like, people starving on the outskirts, they keep taking photo ops by the pyramids. There's a whole continent there, but we obsessed with a place with sand with no trees. We have to come up with something better. Can't grow no food over there, it don't make no sense right about now. Go to the next one. And of course, that's the new Covenant Community logo. Anybody interested in joining our community, you go to Sister Aminette, that's by the camera. I'd like to thank you for your time, your grace, your energy, your patience. Of course, there's some food in the back, you're hungry, and then we also have the books on the side.
Gone and gone.